Naruto, Get Stronger by Hanging Up, Chapter 61. Sakura was also curious, but she didn't believe it. Are you kidding? Naruto's chakra will be more than Sasuke's. In Sakura's opinion, Sasuke is very strong. In this class, except for Yu, Sasuke is the strongest. In Sakura's cognition, Sasuke is much stronger than Naruto, which means that Sasuke's chakra is much more than Naruto's. Yu nodded seriously. There is no doubt about this. Naruto's chakra is even more than Kakashi's. This is one of the benefits of the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Naruto, your hand has healed, there is not even a scar. Naruto wondered why Yu asked this. But he still raised his hand and asked curiously, why are you asking this? Sakura and Sasuke saw that Naruto's previously injured hand was completely healed. You know, it was only a few days since Naruto pierced his palm. With such a serious injury, Naruto's hand was completely healed in a few days, without even a scar. Naruto was not surprised, because his wounds had healed very quickly since he was a child, and he thought that others were the same. Yu said, this is the physical change that the nine-tailed fox has brought to you, and your recovery ability is very strong. Normal people who have been injured so badly cannot heal without a few months. After healing, scars will be left. But look at your palms, are there any scars? Naruto looked and said, really not, isn't it the same for others? Yu hadn't spoken yet, and Sakura spoke first. Of course not, how could such a serious injury heal in a few days, and there is no scar left? I really envy you, Naruto. Sakura said this sincerely. As a girl, she really envied that such a serious injury could leave no scar. Girls all love beauty, let alone a precocious girl like Sakura. Sasuke's eyes were also fixed on Naruto's hand, and he was also shocked. He didn't expect Naruto to have such an ability. This idiot actually has such a powerful power. Sasuke himself does not have such a terrible ability. This ability is very terrible, especially for a profession like ninja who licks blood on the tip of a knife. It is almost equivalent to having a few more lives on the battlefield. Being looked at by Sakura and Sasuke, Naruto was also a little complacent and inexplicably happy, really. Sakura also envies me, is it so powerful, ha ha ha. Looking at Naruto's silly smile, Sakura was originally envious, but suddenly let it go. After all, this was exchanged with brains, she is not jealous. Yu also shook his head speechlessly. This guy's mood changes so quickly. He was so sad just now, but now he is happy. After laughing for a while, Naruto looked at Yu and asked, how can I master the power of the nine-tailed demon fox? After mastering the nine-tailed demon fox, can my strength really be as strong as the fourth Hokage? Sasuke and Sakura also looked at Yu. They also care about it. After all, Naruto was originally the worst one in the team. Although he is a little stronger than Sakura now. But he is still worse than Sasuke. Sasuke still doesn't want to be surpassed by someone like Naruto. Yu waved his hand, how should I know? Don't get me wrong, I am almost the same as you. I am also a ninja who just graduated from the ninja school. I know these things because Kakashi teacher told me. As for how to control the nine tails, even Kakashi teacher doesn't know. If he knew, the third Hokage would have taught you long ago, why wait until now? But I heard that the previous generation of the Nine Tails Jinchuriki controlled the power of the Nine Tails by sealing techniques. The previous generation of the Nine Tails Jinchuriki was the wife of the fourth Hokage. And like you, she is from the Uzumaki clan. Naruto was stunned for a moment. Then he thought of something. Am I from the Uzumaki clan? Although Naruto's last name is Uzumaki, he didn't know there was a Uzumaki clan. He always thought that Uzumaki was just his last name. Yu nodded. That's right, the Uzumaki clan was once an ally of Konoha. But the Uzumaki clan was destroyed long ago, otherwise, the Uzumaki clan would still be very powerful. Naruto was stunned at this time. isn't the Uzumaki clan a family of Konoha village? Sakura and Sasuke were also a little curious. The two didn't know that there was an Uzumaki clan in Konoha at first. Like Naruto, they always thought that Uzumaki was just Naruto's surname. Even after hearing that the Uzumaki clan was destroyed, Sasuke looked at Naruto with some sympathy. He thought that Naruto was an orphan of the clan like him. Naruto was I thought I had a family and a sense of belonging. But just when I thought I had a sense of belonging, Yu actually said that the Uzumaki clan was destroyed, and it was not a family of Konoha village. Yu thought about it and said, no, the Uzumaki clan is a ninja family in the country of whirlpools, and they are very good at sealing techniques. Especially suitable for being a tailed beast Jinchuriki. Because of this reason, they were besieged by several major countries, and the Uzumaki clan was destroyed and their sealing techniques were taken away. In addition to a part of the Uzumaki clan being slaughtered, some are scattered all over the world. For example, there are people from the Uzumaki clan in our Konoha. I remember that the wife of the first Hokage was from the Uzumaki clan, and the wife of the fourth Hokage was also from the Uzumaki clan. And they have all been nine-tailed Jinchuriki. This is not Yu leaking secrets. This information is introduced in the public library of Konoha. It's just that no one pays attention to it usually. After all, people pay the most attention to the Hokage of Konoha, who would care about the wife of the Hokage. But because she is an important figure, she will also be introduced in the history books of Konoha. Yu looked at Naruto and said, so I think that if you master the sealing technique of the Whirlpool clan, you can control the nine tails in your body like the wives of the previous generations of Hokage. Naruto was silent for a while and asked, but I don't know where the sealing technique of the Whirlpool clan is, didn't you tell me? The Whirlpool clan was destroyed, where can I get the sealing technique? Then I can't help, after all, I'm not much stronger than you. And I guess the sealing technique is a secret of the village, not something that ordinary people can touch. But I think that the sealing technique imposed on you by the fourth Hokage is already very strong, and it will be of great benefit to you. You just need to become stronger and make good use of the fourth Hokage's sealing technique. Sooner or later, you will definitely be able to master the power of the nine tails. You have to know that the nine tails is very powerful. When the nine tails was rampant, it caused great damage to our village. But it also shows that the power of the nine tails is very strong. Once you master it, it may instantly increase your power to the level of Hokage. After all, the nine tails is a powerful monster that the fourth Hokage sacrificed his life to seal, and the chakra leaked from the nine tails alone can make your chakra amount more than that of Kakashi. Think about it, if you fully master the chakra of the nine tails, then your chakra amount may be several times more than that of the Hokage. And from the perspective that the first two generations of Konoha's nine tails Jinchuriki were all from the Uzumaki clan, your physique should be very suitable for being the nine tails Jinchuriki, and you should be born with the power to suppress the tailed beast, but you haven't mastered that power yet. Naruto's eyes lit up. He wanted to become stronger now, defeat Yu, and get Kakashi's recognition. After hearing Yu say that after mastering the nine tails, he would have the same or even superior power as the fourth Hokage, Naruto was moved. Chapter 62. Sasuke frowned at Naruto's smug look. If Naruto mastered the power of the nine-tailed demon fox, he would definitely be much stronger than me. Naruto has always been the last in the ninja school, but if he surpasses him in the future, Sasuke would find it hard to accept. He is arrogant and cannot accept Naruto surpassing him. Sasuke looked at Yu. Did you use the ninjutsu that Kakashi taught you just now? Yu was stunned for a moment. He soon realized that Sasuke couldn't accept that Naruto might surpass him, so he wanted to know if Kakashi could make him stronger. Naruto also reacted and looked at Yu curiously. Sakura was the same. From just now, they were very concerned about what ninjutsu Kakashi taught Yu. Yu thought for a while and said, the instant body technique, as long as you learn to accurately control chakra, you will think of this ninjutsu yourself, and you don't need to be taught. The three frowned, not understanding what Yu meant. The principle of the instant body technique is actually very simple. Just like the practice of climbing a tree, it is to condense the chakra under the feet to achieve fast movement. Sasuke thought about it. The principle is indeed not difficult, but it is probably difficult to reach the speed you just did. Sasuke was indeed right, because Yu used the lightning instant body, which required the addition of the chakra of lightning escape. At present, Yu's lightning instant body can approach the speed of lightning, which is faster than Kakashi's lightning instant body. But Yu naturally couldn't admit it, and said, as long as you practice more, you will definitely be able to do it. Sasuke did not agree, and looked at Yu. You were faster than Kakashi just now. And the colors of the lightning produced by the two of you using the instant body technique are completely different. Sakura nodded in agreement. That's right, Yu's speed is faster than Kakashi's, and the lightning around him is of two colors. Kakashi's is like a blue lightning, and Yu's is a golden lightning. Naruto laughed and said, "Are you lying to us?" "I don't need to lie to you, the different colors are just because our chakras are different." "You will know later." Sasuke asked, "How can Kakashi have a Sharingan? Is he also from the Uchiha clan?" "If Kakashi is from the Uchiha clan, then doesn't he belong to the same clan as you, Sasuke?" Naruto also looked at Yu. Yu had a headache. He just wanted the three of them to forget about Kakashi teaching him ninjutsu. Who knew that Sasuke would ask such a sensitive topic again? These are all books about the Uzumaki clan in the library, and Yu had read them before. So it's not strange for him to say it. But the things about the Uchiha clan have always been a secret in the village, and Yu doesn't really want to talk about it. Sasuke looked at Yu expectantly. He actually hoped that Kakashi was from the Uchiha clan, so that he would not be so lonely in the future, and he would be the only Uchiha clan member in the whole Konoha. Naruto saw that Yu seemed to be in a dilemma, and asked, "Is there anything that is difficult to say?" "Not really, it's just that I don't know much about the Uchiha clan. But I can tell you that Kakashi is not from the Uchiha clan." Sasuke, who was originally looking forward to it, suddenly became extremely disappointed. Sakura was very confused. Since Kakashi-sensei is not from the Uchiha clan, why does he have the Sharingan? Does Konoha village have other families with the Sharingan? I don't know about that. Yu didn't want to say it, but Sasuke answered for him. Only the Uchiha clan has the Sharingan in Konoha village, and among the Uchiha clan, only a few can open the Sharingan. Then why does Kakashi-sensei have it? Naruto was very curious. Sasuke could probably guess. It must have been transplanted. But he didn't feel comfortable. After all, it was his clan's eye, and now it was occupied by Kakashi. And who knows how Kakashi got the Sharingan? Yu looked at Sasuke and knew that he must have misunderstood Kakashi. Although Yu didn't want to talk about the Uchiha clan, if Sasuke misunderstood Kakashi, Yu didn't want it to happen. After struggling for a while, Yu explained to Kakashi. The Sharingan was transplanted to Kakashi by his teammate. It was during the Third Ninja World War, when Kakashi's team was ambushed and one of Kakashi's eyes was stabbed. Kakashi's teammate was a member of the Uchiha clan. Ninja, the Uchiha clan opponent, was crushed by the enemy's earth escape ninjutsu and half of his body was crushed. Before he died, Kakashi's teammate asked the medical ninja in the team to transplant the other intact eye to Kakashi. It was at that time that Kakashi got the Sharingan. The Uchiha clan teammate who transplanted the eye to Kakashi was Kakashi's friend. I think you should be often taken by Kakashi to pay tribute to his friend. That person is the teammate who transplanted the Sharingan to Kakashi. Hearing Yu's account of the whole story, Sasuke, Naruto and Sakura, who had originally questioned Kakashi, were silent. What shocked the three was not that Kakashi got the Sharingan, but that in the war, Kakashi's teammates were willing to transplant the Sharingan to Kakashi. It can be seen how deep their friendship is. Sasuke also felt that his previous guess was a bit inappropriate. Kakashi teacher can actually rely on the transplanted Sharingan to break out a great reputation in the ninja world. You are right, Kakashi teacher is indeed a very powerful ninja. Naruto sighed. Yu smiled and said, that's natural. Kakashi teacher has been a genius ninja since he was a child. When he was our age, he was already a ninja. And he is a ninja who fought in the war. You can imagine how strong he is. Sasuke didn't say anything, but he also had more expectations for Kakashi. I don't know what powerful ninjutsu Kakashi will teach him in the future. The most important thing is that Kakashi has experience in using the Sharingan, and Kakashi may teach him to develop the Sharingan in the future. Sasuke looked at Yu. Yu, do you know about the Uchiha clan? You must know a lot about it. After all, you know so much about Kakashi's teacher, and you know the secrets of the Uzumaki clan. You must know a lot about the Uchiha clan, right? The reason why Sasuke asked Yu this question is that he didn't know much about many things about the Uchiha clan. He didn't even know how to develop the Sharingan. Chapter 63. Sakura and Naruto also looked at Yu. They were also very curious about the Uchiha clan. I have always heard that the Uchiha clan is very prominent in Konoha, and Sasuke is also very popular in Konoha because of his status as a survivor of the Uchiha clan. At least Naruto often heard people mention the Uchiha clan when they mentioned Sasuke. From the mouths of those people, it seems that the Uchiha clan is a very powerful family. Yu was speechless and looked at Sasuke and said, you don't even know that you are from the Uchiha clan, how can I know it? But Sasuke would not let Yu go like this. You don't even know the Uzumaki clan. Before this, I had never even heard of the Uzumaki clan. I don't believe you don't know the Uchiha clan. Sakura and Naruto nodded. Sasuke is right. You even know the Uzumaki clan. How can you not know the Uchiha clan? What I know is basically the same as what you know, and it may not even be as much as you know. Yu said. Sasuke asked without giving up, then do you know how powerful the Sharingan is? If I continue to develop the Sharingan, what level can I reach? This is what Sasuke wants to ask the most. If it were someone else, he would naturally not ask this question, but he has already recognized Yu's strength. He doesn't feel embarrassed to ask Yu. Naruto and Sakura are also very concerned. Especially Sasuke. After knowing his huge potential in the future, he has thought that when he is stronger than Sasuke, he will definitely defeat him personally, let Sakura know how powerful he is, and let Sakura like him. He always thought that Sakura liked Sasuke because Sasuke was stronger than him. Yu waved his hand. I don't know about this, but since the ninja world is so afraid of the Sharingan, it must be very powerful. And the Uchiha clan used to hold great power in Konoha, and they were very prominent in Konoha. What kind of strength and status they have, the Sharingan must be very powerful. But Sasuke was not satisfied with Yu's words. But how strong is it? Yu smiled bitterly and said, I really don't know. The strongest Sharingan I have ever seen is Kakashi's Sharingan. This is the truth. Since coming to this world, Yu has only seen Kakashi's Sharingan. He has not even seen Sasuke's Sharingan. Although Sasuke is not satisfied with Yu's answer, if he continues to ask, Yu probably won't answer. He doesn't know, or he really doesn't know, or there is some secret that he doesn't want him to know. After several people returned to Dazna's house, Yu looked at Kakashi who had already sat at the dining table, and his head was full of black lines. Teacher Kakashi, you are such a good teacher. Seeing Kakashi, Yu said sarcastically. Kakashi naturally knew what Yu meant, that is, complaining that he left Yu behind and let Yu deal with the problems of Sasuke and the other two. Fortunately, Kakashi was covered by a mask, so his expression could not be seen. Kakashi greeted the four people and said, Hey, you're back. Come and have dinner quickly. Miss Tsunami has carefully prepared a rich dinner for you. Tsunami, who was standing next to Kakashi, said embarrassedly, It's just a simple meal. I can't take good care of you. Although he was very dissatisfied with Kakashi's behavior, Yu still exchanged a few polite words with Tsunami. Seeing Yu, Dasna smiled and said, "Brother Yu is really hardworking. He actually practiced until so late." After the previous battle, in Dasna's heart, only Kakashi and Yu were reliable. He felt that as long as Kakashi and Yu were there, even if Zabuza appeared again, he would not be able to assassinate him. As for Sasuke and the other three, he felt that they were completely novices and could not even protect themselves, let alone protect others. So he was particularly enthusiastic about Yu. After Yu and Sasuke and the other four sat down, Inari, who was hiding behind Tsunami, showed his head and looked at Yu and the other four. His eyes were full of ridicule. "A few idiots will definitely end up like that person." Yu could hear it, but he didn't want to say anything, nor did he want to think about who Inari was talking about. Although Yu still had some memories of this mission, he couldn't remember the specific details. Naturally, he didn't know why Inari said that. Kakashi also heard it and thought about it. He was not angry, but he was wondering why Inari said such a thing and who that person was. Kakashi glanced at Yu. Seeing Yu eating calmly, it seemed that he didn't hear what Inari said just now. He thought to himself, "This kid is really calm, but you must have been thinking about who that person is." Just looked at Yu and Kakashi did not move, and ate their meals as usual. Only Yu and Kakashi did not say anything. But Naruto heard it. Although Inari spoke in a low voice, Naruto still heard it. Naruto was instantly unhappy, and stood on the chair, raised his fist and looked at Inari. "Who do you say is an idiot? Explain clearly." Sasuke and Sakura did not speak, but their faces were not very good. After all, they continued to carry out this mission out of kindness, but they did not expect Inari to scold them. Although Sakura did not move on the surface, her heart had exploded. And Naruto's words also angered Inari. He was not even afraid anymore. He jumped out from behind his mother and shouted at Naruto, "I'm talking about you. Who do you think your opponents are? Those people are ninjas who can easily kill a group of people. It's stupid for you to want to defeat them with just a few people. If you are not idiots, what are you? Especially you, a golden-haired idiot." Tsunami was stunned for a moment, and after realizing that it was bad, Tsunami quickly grabbed Inari. "Inari, you are so rude, apologize to the ninjas." Inari said stubbornly with tears in his eyes, "I won't apologize. I'm telling the truth. How can these people defeat those ninjas? It's just a few more souls killed by the sword. Idiots, idiots, woo woo woo." Inari became more and more excited and finally ran out. The scene became very embarrassing for a while. Naruto rolled up his sleeves and was about to find Inari to argue angrily. "How could this bastard kid say such a thing? I'm going to go find him and tell him clearly." Naruto chased after him. Tsunami and Dasna quickly apologized to Kakashi and the others. "I'm sorry, Mr. Kakashi. Inari didn't mean to say that. Please forgive his rude behavior. I apologize to you on his behalf." Seeing that Dasna and Tsunami were about to kneel down, Kakashi quickly helped them up. "You two don't have to be like this. Children's words are innocent. We won't bother with them. But it seems that there is something hidden in this." Chapter 64. Dasna sighed. The child's father was killed for stopping Kado. He admired his father the most before, and he always admired him. "I didn't expect." After Dasna finished telling the story of Inari and his father, Kakashi and others understood. "Mr. Kakashi, the bridge connecting the land is really important. If it can't be built, the Land of Waves will always be ruled by Kado, and the people of the Land of Waves will never be able to get rid of Kado's cruel rule." Dasna couldn't help crying. "Father, with Mr. Kakashi and the others, the bridge will definitely be built." Tsunami stood aside and comforted his father. Looking at Dasna's appearance, Yu had a complicated expression, the sadness of a small person. Those with power can dominate the ninja world, but those without power are like ants, and this is still in peacetime. How desperate are ordinary people in the war? For the first time, Yu Yu deeply felt a deep sense of powerlessness. To Yu Yu, Kobo was just a stink bug that he could kill easily, but to the people of Wave Country, he was a mountain that could easily crush them. Wave Country was too poor and didn't even have its own ninja village. It probably didn't need a Jonin, but only a few Chunins or even Genins to dominate the country. Yu Yu also understood why Dasna called the bridge connecting the land Naruto Bridge in the end. Maybe to others, Naruto was just a genin. But to the people of Wave Country, Naruto was a hero who saved their entire country. Kakashi looked at Yu Yu. Seeing him thoughtful, he nodded secretly. This was also what he wanted Yu Yu to feel. Many people in this world lived very humble lives, and the power that Yu Yu now possessed had already made him superior to many people. And whether his power was used to bully the weak, or to help the weak and protect order was up to him. Sasuke and Sakura didn't have any special feelings, and they couldn't empathize with Dasna. Although Sasuke experienced the destruction of his family, the existence of Uchiha Itachi made the third generation take extra care of Sasuke, and Sasuke never felt the powerlessness of being bullied since he was a child. At least not in the village. Sakura was even more so. After all, Konoha village was still orderly, and no one dared to bully Sakura who could go to the ninja school. After Kakashi and Dasna chatted for a while, they went to rest. At night, Yu Yu sat on the balcony on the second floor, and the white moonlight like sand splashed on the balcony. In the distance, the forest was noisy with insects and birds, but it made people feel unusually quiet. Yu Yu stared blankly at the distance. It was a little dark, but Yu Yu kept his eyes fixed, even though he could not see anything. After a long time, he felt someone sitting down beside him. Yu Yu didn't look back, and said lightly, "Teacher Kakashi, what kind of person do you think I will become after I become the most powerful person in the world?" Kakashi, who was sitting next to Yu Yu, was stunned for a moment, then lowered his head and thought for a while and said, "I believe you." He didn't mock Yu Yu for thinking that he would become the most powerful person in the world, nor did he answer Yu Yu's question. But Kakashi's words made Yu Yu smile. "Teacher Kakashi, do you believe me so much?" To be honest, the power I have mastered these days has made me feel a little empty. I really don't know what I will become when I become stronger in the future, perhaps stronger than everyone else. Human desires are endless. Why don't you think there were strong people who could suppress the entire era in the ninja world before? If there were, what kind of mentality would he have? Yu Yu was a little confused. He knew that he had a system and knew that maybe he would become the most powerful ninja in the world in the future, and the possibility was very high. But after he did it, could he really stick to his original intention, or did he really have no desire for power? When you can control a world, can you really keep the mentality of your youth? The ultimate force brings the ultimate power. The ability to easily decide the life and death of others and to decide the life and death of everyone in this world is fascinating. Yu Yu wants to know, after reaching that level, can he still keep the mentality of taking things as they come like now? Everyone, at each stage, will have a different mentality when they have different resources. Maybe when he has the ultimate power, he will think that today's mentality of muddling through is stupid. After all, he is still too weak now and cannot experience the beauty of controlling everything. Naturally, he also feels that he will continue like this in the future. But is it really like this? Can he really keep this mentality? Yu Yu is not confident anymore. Kakashi looked at Yu Yu, sighed, and looked at the distant forest like him. Although I don't know what you will become in the future, I know that you will definitely not become greedy. I believe in my vision of people. Yu Yu turned his head and glanced at Kakashi, and smiled. How can you be so sure? Because I believe in you, Kakashi said seriously. Yu Yu didn't say anything else. I don't know what he was thinking at this time. Kakashi continued, that night, the third Hokage told me about the era of the first Hokage. Do you want to listen? Yeah. Yu Yu nodded. Although he still has some memories, it has been 12 years, and he has long forgotten the details. In the era of the first Hokage, the power of the first Hokage was very strong, so strong that people called him the god of ninja. Kakashi slowly told Yu the story of the first Hokage era. Yu listened very seriously. After a long time, Kakashi finished speaking, turned to look at Yu and said, Yu, I believe that you will be like the first generation Hokage in the future. I was worried that the power in your body might endanger the village before. But I am more willing to believe that you will make good use of the power in your body. You will become a hero who protects the village, not a demon who destroys the village. So I will teach you everything I have learned in my life, and I bet everything on you. Yu smiled and said, if I become the latter, Teacher Kakashi, you will be overturned. There is no way. I know that one day you will become extremely powerful. On that day, even if I am no longer your opponent, I will stop you with my own hands at the cost of my life. But I am more convinced that in the future you will be a person that the teacher is proud of, instead of making the teacher a sinner for all eternity. After speaking, Kakashi patted Yu on the shoulder. Watching Kakashi return to the room, Yu smiled. Who cares? We'll talk about the future later. At least I won't change now. Yu didn't know what his future would be like. Maybe as his power became stronger and stronger, his desires would grow, and his easygoing personality would change. But living well in the present is the most important thing. It's meaningless to always fantasize about things that haven't happened. It just adds to your troubles. Chapter 65. In the following days, Yu, Sasuke, Naruto and Sakura took turns to protect Dasna and build the bridge in pairs. Zabuza has not appeared in the past few days. Kakashi has been with the group protecting Dasna. After all, Dasna is the target of this mission, and Kakashi is worried if he does not take care of him personally. In a few days, Yu has mastered dozens of ninjutsu, and even Reikiri has mastered it completely. Now he is learning sealing techniques with Kakashi. Yu's learning speed shocked Kakashi, even though he had shown a terrible learning speed before. But now Yu has mastered the ninjutsu conditions that are enough for him to become an elite Jonin, and his hard power is enough to become an elite Jonin. The only thing missing is practical experience. Yu attaches great importance to practical experience. But Kakashi doesn't think so. Kakashi believes that Yu now has the strength of an elite Jonin, even if he doesn't have much practical experience. It was very difficult to defeat Yu when facing an elite Jonin. After a few weeks of peace and quiet, Yu had just returned from training in the back mountain. As soon as he stepped into the door of Dasna's house, he noticed something wrong. Yu stopped at the door, and his hand was hanging in the air when he was about to open the door. It's so quiet, he murmured to himself. Yu took a step back. Swoosh tilde. Disappeared from the spot like a ghost. Almost at the same time, Yu appeared in the room on the second floor where they had lived these days. Entered the room from the balcony, condensing chakra under his feet. Walking on the wooden planks made no sound. Seeing that the room was tidy as usual, Yu turned and walked towards the first floor. Quiet, different from usual quiet. There was no Suna busy in the kitchen, and no Inari running around in the corridor. Sakura in the room was nowhere to be seen. From the second floor to the first floor, I didn't see Tsunami, Inari, or Sakura. On the dining table, Yu saw a letter. After hesitating for a while, Yu gathered chakra in his hands, and the golden chakra turned into a glove to wrap Yu's hands. Opening the envelope, Yu's expression became solemn. Something really happened. It seems that they set a trap for me to fall into. Yes, this letter is a kidnapping letter. The person on the letter arrested Sakura, Tsunami, and Inari, and asked him to meet in the back mountain. If Yu didn't show up after the sun went down, they would kill Sakura, Tsunami, and Inari. After just a little thought, Yu rushed to the back mountain. He didn't notify Kakashi. There was not enough time. Yu, who was speeding on the road, had a solemn expression. I thought to myself, they actually know the time when I come back from training. It seems that they have been waiting for a long time. The purpose of kidnapping Sakura and the others is to delay me. Their purpose is to assassinate old man Dasna. I guess Zabuza and the others have already appeared at Kakashi's place. Yu Yu thought in his mind. Yu Yu knew very well that after the previous battle with Zabuza, Zabuza must know that Kakashi and Yu Yu are not something he can defeat. So finding someone to kidnap Sakura and the others is to delay Yu Yu. And Zabuza will assassinate Dasna again. He is very sure that he can kill Dasna with only Kakashi. It will be easier if he has helpers. Even knowing this, Yu Yu can only follow the other party's footsteps. Unless he doesn't care about the safety of Sakura and the others, in fact, Yu Yu can't do it. Soon, Yu Yu came to the location in the letter. Deep in the forest, there is a small wooden house. At this time, in the cabin, Sakura, Tsunami and Inari were tied to wooden stakes. There were dense detonating talismans on their bodies. In front of them, 3 rebel ninjas from the Hidden Mist village sat. The leader was a ninja with long green hair and sharp teeth. He was the rebel ninja from the Hidden Mist village, Kuroki Raiga, who was once one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. The 2 people standing behind him were 2 chunins from the Hidden Mist village. Since knowing that Yu Yu's strength was comparable to that of a Jonin, Zabuza found Kuroki Raiga, who was also a rebel ninja from the Hidden Mist village. Cardo also paid an extra commission for an S-level mission for this. Although it was painful, Cardo still paid it in order to kill Dasna and stop the construction of the cross-sea bridge. Kuroki Raiga looked at the 3 people tied in front of him with an indifferent expression. Don't worry, when that guy arrives, I will send you to die together. After you die, I will hold a grand funeral for you, ha ha ha. Kuroki Raiga laughed pervertedly. Sakura struggled and angrily said, you green-haired monster will not succeed. When Kakashi and Yu Yu arrive, they will definitely knock you down. Ha ha ha, ignorant little girl, Kakashi has probably been killed by Zabuza now. As for that kid named Yu Yu, I admit that he is indeed quite capable. But, I have the 3 of you in my hands, and your stupid friendship with Konoha makes him unable to ignore your safety. No matter how fast he is, he can't be faster than the explosion speed of the detonating tags on you. What a pity, that kid is really a genius, and he has to die to save a stupid little girl like you, what a pity. These days, Kurozuchi Raiga and 2 of his subordinates have been observing Yu Yu for a long time. He naturally knows the results of Yu Yu's training these days. If it weren't for Xiaoying, Kurozuchi Raiga really wouldn't be sure to kill Yu Yu. But now, with 3 hostages in his hands, from the observations of the past few days, Yu Yu and Xiaoying seem to have a good relationship. Kurozuchi Raiga doesn't believe that Yu Yu will not save Xiaoying. This is his confidence. Plus the 2 thunder swords in his hand. He is a senior ninja, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. First, the blessing of Thunderblade Ya makes him no weaker than the average elite Jonin, and stronger than the average Jonin. With the assistance of 2 chunins around him, Kuroki Raiga couldn't think of how he could lose. After hearing what Kuroki Raiga said, Inari thought of his father. Didn't he die like this? Thinking of what Naruto said to him that day, Inari was desperate. Sure enough, there are no heroes in this world. All those who want to be heroes are idiots and will die. Don't overestimate your own abilities. People always overestimate their own abilities. Inari said to himself with tears in his eyes. Originally, after Naruto talked to him that day, a glimmer of hope rose in his heart. But now, hope is shattered, and Inari completely collapsed. Tsunami looked pale. She understood what Kuroki Raiga said. She knew that she and the others were doomed. In her opinion, Yu Yu was just like Sasuke and the others, just children. How powerful could a genius be? Kakashi is probably entangled by another wave of ninjas now. Her father may have been killed by the ninjas sent by the other side. After losing her husband and father in succession, Tsunami collapsed and could not speak for a long time. Chapter 66. Kuroki Raiga's words also made Sakura despair. She knew Zabuza's strength before. If it weren't for Yu assisting Kakashi at that time, Kakashi might not be able to beat Zabuza. If Yu was dragged here, Kakashi might not be able to beat Zabuza, and Dazna would be killed. And Yu might die here for saving her. Even if he didn't die here, after Zabuza assassinated Dazna, he came here, facing two Jonin. Sakura didn't think Yu could beat him. In a dead end, Sakura looked uncomfortable. No, Yu will never fall into the trap, he will definitely see through your trick. Sakura didn't want to believe that Yu would come obediently, he must know that this was Kuroki Raiga's conspiracy. Kuroki Raiga laughed. Little girl, even if he knows this is my plan, does he have a choice? Kuroki Raiga's words made Sakura speechless. Yes, even if Yu knew, does he have a choice? Can he really go to Kakashi regardless of his own life? Seeing that Sakura didn't speak, Kuroki Raiga smiled and said, will he choose to complete the mission or save his companions? Based on my observation of that boy these days, he might choose to save you. No, Yu won't choose that. He will definitely go to teacher Kakashi. Sakura shook her head. She hoped that Yu would not come here. This was a dead end. Coming here can only die with them. Sakura didn't want Yu to come here even more. If it were normal, Sakura would certainly hope that she would have a higher status in Yu's heart. Even if they were friends, she hoped that Yu would treat her as a closer friend. But when it comes to life and death, she hopes that Yu can live and doesn't want Yu to die with her. Sakura didn't want Yu to walk into this trap without any cover. Thinking that Yu might appear, thinking that he would definitely be blown to pieces with her. Sakura cried. Even though he was the only ninja among the three. Sakura couldn't help crying. She didn't want Yu to die. You will definitely not come. You are an excellent ninja, you will definitely choose to complete the task first. We are just temporary teammates, how can I be so important to you? Sakura cried. Looking at Sakura crying, Kuroki Raiga sneered, when you go to hell, it's a happy thing to have a genius companion on the road together. Why are you crying? Sakura didn't listen, looking out the window, praying in her heart that Yu would never come. She even hoped that Yu would not see the letter. Sakura, have you forgotten what Kakashi said when he tested you? As soon as Kuroki Raiga finished speaking, Yu's voice came from outside the cabin. Boy, you are here as expected. The moment Yu said that, Kuroki Raiga appeared behind Sakura. Two thunder swords were placed on Sakura's neck. Two Chunins also appeared behind Tsunami and Inari, with kunai placed on their necks. The moment Sakura heard Yu's voice, she was surprised for a moment, but then she collapsed. She cried, Yu, why did you come? You must know that this is a trap, why did you come here? Yu walked slowly into the cabin. He glanced at the cabin calmly and said lightly, I know this is a trap, but as that guy said, I have no choice. Yu spread his hands. Yu was obviously very calm at this time. But the two Chunins of the Hidden Mist village felt very dangerous. It was as if he could take their lives at any time. And the other party was just a genin. But when they thought of their observations over the past few days, they swallowed their saliva. They looked at Yu in fear, worried that Yu would kill them with one move. They would not really treat Yu as a genin. The boy in front of them was very dangerous. He had the power to kill them in seconds. Kuroki Raiga also did not dare to neglect him. Sakura looked at Yu with tears in her eyes. She did not want Yu to come. Yu looked at Kuroki Raiga, it seems that your strength is not much worse than that Zabuza. You are a Jonin, right? There are really enough rebel ninjas in your Kurigakure. And they are all powerful characters. Yu seemed unaware of the current situation and joked with Kuroki Raiga. Kuroki Raiga looked solemn. Boy, you can only die with this stupid girl now, what a pity. Yu smiled. How did you know I would die? Ha ha ha, kid, didn't you notice? Is there anything wrong around here? I've been observing you for so long, do you think I don't know your strength? I won't be stupid enough to fight you head-on. Even if I win, it will take a lot of effort for you. Within 100 meters around this cabin, I have deployed a large number of detonating talismans, especially this cabin. Hundreds of detonating talismans are enough to kill you and this little girl without leaving any residue. After listening to what Hei-Chu-Leia said, Yu didn't feel the slightest bit of surprise. Because he sensed it when he came in. Within 100 meters around this cabin, there are detonating talismans tied with steel wire everywhere. If these detonating talismans are detonated, they are enough to destroy all creatures within hundreds of meters around. But what can he do with Xiaoying, Jinbo and Inari? Just leave it alone. He can't do it. There are detonating talismans all around here. If they are detonated, you can't escape. Yu said. Hee hee, kid, do you think I'm stupid enough to enter the game with my real body? Yu clapped his hands and said, not bad, not bad, it seems that you have studied me thoroughly. You set a trap that I can't get around. Stop talking nonsense, kid, go to hell with your stupid decision. Explode. Hei-Chu-Leia didn't want to talk nonsense with Yu anymore, worried that something might happen if he was late. It was at the same time. Yu's eyes condensed slightly, and the chakra in his body flowed rapidly in an instant. Thunder-style thunder net. Wind-style air explosion. Water-style water array wall. Sizzle tilde. Buzz tilde. Wall-la-la. Boom, boom, boom. With the detonation of Hei-Chu-Leia, all the detonating tags exploded in an instant. Violent explosion. The wooden house was completely destroyed, and the explosion within hundreds of meters around the wooden house formed a mushroom cloud tens of meters high. The explosion set off a violent storm that uprooted a large tree hundreds of meters away. For a moment, smoke and dust filled the sky, and the earth shook violently, as if it were a large earthquake. After a long time, the smoke and dust dissipated. The earth that had been bombed into pits was exposed. Hundreds of meters away, Kuroki Raiga and two Chunins walked out from behind the big tree. Kuroki Raiga smiled and said, "It's a beautiful explosion, but it's a pity that a genius has fallen. Okay, let me hold a grand funeral for you, so that you can leave this world with dignity." Chapter 67. Kuroki Raiga brought two Chunins to the center of the explosion, where a huge pit with a width of tens of meters had been blown out. But when Kuroki Raiga came to the edge of the pit, he saw three water balls shining with golden light in the center of the pit. What is this? The two Chunins asked in confusion. Kuroki Raiga had a bad feeling in his heart. Be careful, that kid is not that easy to deal with. Kuroki Raiga looked solemn, and he felt that the explosion just now might not have killed Yu. How is it possible? Even if a cage came, he would not survive such an explosion, right? The two Chunins were shocked and could not believe it at all. You know, they have arranged thousands of detonating tags around. Even a cage-level strongman would hardly be killed in such an explosion. Kuroki Raiga drew out his thunder knife. Without answering the two Chunins, he stared at the three golden water balls in the center of the pit. After a while, seeing that the three water masses were motionless, Kuroki Raiga, who could no longer hold back, immediately launched an attack on the three water masses. Lightning release. Lightning strike. Crack tilde. Sizzle sizzle sizzle. Kuroki Raiga crossed the lightning blades in his hands, and suddenly blue arcs appeared on the two lightning blades. As Kuroki Raiga activated the chakra in his body, the arcs on the lightning blades instantly expanded and turned into an arc as thick as an arm, slashing towards the three water masses. This was the lightning release ninjutsu that Kuroki Raiga used with the help of the lightning blades. The lightning blade allowed Kuroki Raiga to easily launch the lightning release ninjutsu, and the amount of chakra consumed was less than that of ordinary lightning release ninjutsu. The swift lightning arc instantly hit one of the three water masses. However, the lightning, which was powerful enough to smash a boulder, was completely absorbed by the water mass as soon as it came into contact with the water mass. The golden water ball absorbed the lightning arc released by Kurochu Raiga like a black hole, as if he had never released it. This strange scene shocked Kurochu Raiga and the two Chunins. What is this? It must be a monster. Brother Kurochu Raiga's lightning escape was actually absorbed. What on earth is that? The two Chunins said in panic. Kurochu Raiga looked solemn, and he seemed to know what was going on. Looking around, Kurochu Raiga said angrily, "Boy, don't hide. I know it's you who did it. Come out." Kurochu Raiga knew that it must have been Yu who did it. He was shocked and angry at this time. Yu didn't die. The deadly situation he carefully arranged didn't blow Yu to death. It's okay if he didn't blow him to death, but he actually left this thing to play with him. Kurochu Raiga couldn't stand it. The empty scorched earth was extremely quiet. Kuroki Raiga's expression became extremely solemn. This feeling of being spied on was too bad. In the past, he was the one hiding in the dark. Damn, tough kid, you were killed even in a dead end. What kind of monster are you? Kuroki Raiga said in a solemn tone. Brother Kuroki Raiga, you don't think that kid is still alive after such an explosion? Don't joke. The two Chunins were worried when they thought that Yu might still be alive. If Yu was not killed by such a violent explosion just now, what a terrible monster Yu would be. They were just two Chunins. They were not sure to defeat Yu together. These days, they followed Kuroki Raiga and kept staring at Yu. They knew very well how terrible Yu's strength was. Kuroki Raiga ignored the two Chunins and looked at the three water balls in the middle of the pit. If you don't come out, I'll force you to come out. Kuroki Raiga released another Thunder Release ninjutsu, Thunder Release Raiga. As Kuroki Raiga released his ninjutsu, a large amount of lightning condensed in the sky. The lightning instantly condensed into dozens of blue arcs that blasted in all directions. Crack! Boom, boom, boom. Countless lightning arcs instantly destroyed everything around. The power was terrifying. This is the power of the Thunder Blade, which can increase the user's Thunder Release ninjutsu several times. This is the power of the Thunder Blade, ha 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 ha. Brother Kuroki Raiga finally opened fire. That kid was not killed just now, and now he will be killed by Brother Kuroki Raiga. The two Chunins said excitedly as they looked at the scene that seemed like the end of the world. Just now, the two were a little afraid that Yu was not dead. Now seeing the Thunder Release ninjutsu released by Kuroki Raiga, they felt that even if Yu was still alive, he would definitely be killed by Kuroki Raiga. After all, Kuroki Raiga was once one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, and his strength was an elite jonin. They didn't think that Yu, a kid, could beat him. Thunder and lightning were raging around, and a steady stream of lightning and lightning blasted out from the thunder knife. The scene was extremely shocking. But Yu still did not appear. Instead, the 3 water masses in the center of the pit were slowly peeled off. Crack! The sound of shattering glass made Heichuleya stop his actions. His eyes were fixed on the 3 water masses in the pit that were glowing with golden light. At this time, the golden substance on the water mass slowly fell off, revealing the true face inside. When Heichuleya saw the face revealed in the water mass, he was stunned. She is not dead. That girl is not dead. What a joke. That kid is not dead. Why is that girl not dead either? I clearly put more than 20 detonating talismans on her, enough to blow her to pieces. Damn, what's going on? Heichuleya never thought that the person under the water mass was Sakura. What he didn't expect was that Sakura was not dead. After all the glassy substances on her body fell off, Sakura's entire body was exposed. There was indeed no scar on her body. It was incredible. Kuroki Raiga couldn't believe it at all. After all, he had put so many detonating talismans on Sakura. How could Sakura not be dead? He couldn't believe it. Absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible. This is an illusion. This is the illusion of that kid. Impossible. Kuroki Raiga trembled with his hands. he couldn't believe that there were such strange things in the world. Those detonating talismans were tightly attached to that girl, he couldn't get rid of them all in such a short time. Kuroki Raiga's worldview was seriously challenged. Crack tilde. After the water balls on Sakura's body completely fell off, the 2 water balls next to her also began to fall off. At this time, Sakura was also confused. At that moment just now, she thought she was dead. She also regretted that she actually pulled Yu with her before she died. Xiaoying shook her hand, and the severe pain made her wake up. It's not a dream, I'm not dead, I'm not dead. So many detonating tags exploded at the same time, I'm not dead. By the way, where is Yu? I wonder how Yu is doing. Chapter 68. After all the water balls on their bodies fell off, Suna and Inari were confused. The 2 looked at their hands and didn't expect that they were still alive. We are not dead. What is going on? Suna looked around at the charred soil. At this time, they seemed to be standing in the middle of a big pit, surrounded by charred soil. There was still steam coming out of the soil, and the smell of burning was very unpleasant. But they were still alive and couldn't care about that. Inari was thinking about what Dasna said to him at this time. It's him, it must be him, he saved us. Inari thought of Yu instantly. He didn't believe what Dasna said before. He didn't believe that Yu and the others could defeat the ninjas hired by Cardo. After he and his mother were captured, he was more certain of his thoughts, and even mocked Naruto's words to him that day in his heart. It was ridiculous. But now he is alive and was saved by Yu. He really has the ability to save them. Yu is about the same age as Naruto, why is he so strong? If his father was as strong as Yu, would he not have died? After thinking a lot, Inari realized that Yu was gone. He looked around and couldn't find Yu. He only saw Kuroki Raiga waving his fangs and claws in the distance, looking very angry. Mom, was that the man who saved us? Inari looked at his mother. Tsunami nodded, who else could it be besides him? On the other side, Sakura looked around and didn't find Yu. She couldn't help but worry. Yu, where are you? Sakura cried. She was really worried that Yu was affected by the explosion. In such a dangerous situation, knowing that she might die, he still saved her. No one could be indifferent to the other party. What's more, Sakura and Yu were not related before. In her most desperate situation, Yu appeared, risking his life. But for a long time, there was no echo, and Yu's figure was not seen. Xiaoying thought Yu was dead. She knelt down weakly, muttering to herself, it's all because of me that I hurt you. Before Xiaoying finished speaking, Xiaoying felt a flash in front of her eyes. Why are you crying? I'm not dead yet. Hearing this voice, Xiaoying was shocked and looked up. There was a person standing in front of her, and his back looked very similar to Yu. You are not dead. Ah, you are not dead, Suna and Inari next to him shouted. Both of them were very shocked that Yu appeared. In such a violent explosion just now, Yu was not dead. What a surprise. Xiaoying stood up and rushed towards Yu. But Yu held her shoulder with one hand and said, okay, take good care of Aunt Jinbo and Inari. I have been practicing for such a long time, I want to test the results of my practice during this period. That guy is a Jonin, I am not very sure that I can defeat him, let's see if I can hold on until Kakashi teacher arrives. Yu said a little unconfidently. Sakura was a little resentful because her excitement was suppressed by Yu. But she still stood in front of Jinbo and Inari obediently. Don't worry, I will definitely protect them. Sakura said seriously. But Yu didn't care. Sakura is too weak now, and asking her to protect Inari is just to let her stand aside and not get in the way. Otherwise, she would have to divide her energy to take care of them. Facing the Black Hole Yu has no confidence in winning. At this time, Jinbo and Inari are also very confident in Yu. Yu can protect them under the explosion just now, and they don't think Yu will lose. Especially Inari, who changed his previous depressed look and looked at Yu with admiration. Raised his hand and shouted, "Brother Yu, come on. I will protect my mother well and won't cause you any trouble." Yeah, very good. Although I am not familiar with Inari these days, and I haven't even said a few words to him. But since Inari said so, Yu will naturally respond. Sakura looked at Yu's back, her eyes had changed, and Yu felt particularly safe at this time. Yu, be careful, I will definitely protect them, you just need to fight seriously. Sakura said seriously. Yu nodded. Pulled out a kunai from the ninja tool bag. Sizzle tilde. In an instant, golden arcs appeared on the kunai. It's lightning, brother Yu's move is really cool. Inari was stunned when he saw Yu create lightning and golden lightning with ease. Full of envy and admiration. The hand is really cool. Sakura knows more clearly how powerful Yu's move is. Yu is much stronger than us now, releasing such a strong lightning escape without making a seal. Sakura knows very well that among the 5 types of escape techniques, lightning escape is a very powerful but difficult to control escape technique. But Yu condensed lightning escape without even making a seal. This strength is not on the same level as them. Tsunami was also shocked. Is this a ninja? So strong, it seems to be stronger than Zabuza. Tsunami has seen ninjas, but she has not seen those ninjas use ninjutsu, they all use ninja swords to fight. And Yu's kunai actually condensed a large amount of golden lightning, which did not hurt Yu. For ordinary people, Yu's move is no different from a fairy technique. At this time, Heichuleya, who was frantically looking for Yu, saw Yu appear at the bottom of the pit. His eyes narrowed slightly. You finally showed up, you're not dead. I used so many detonating tags but I didn't kill you. You're really annoying. But since you don't want to die quickly, I'll let you die painfully, torture you slowly, and let you taste the feeling of living a life worse than death. My Thunderblade is ready to drink blood. I won't let you escape this time. You too, use the mist hiding technique to cover the surroundings. Kurochu Raiga ordered the 2 chunins in a cold voice. The 2 looked at Yu, who was calm below, and their throats surged. They all felt the confrontation between Yu and Kurochu Raiga's momentum. The heavy murderous aura made the 2 chunins feel icy cold in their souls. He's just a genin, just a kid, why can his momentum compare to that of Kuroki Raiga? What kind of monster is this kid? I always feel that his strength is no less than that of Kuroki Raiga. The 2 chunins said while making hand seals. As the 2 quickly made hand seals for ninja art, mist hidden technique. Instantly, thick fog rose within 100 meters around. The murderous aura was even more terrifying against the backdrop of the thick fog. Chapter 69. The mist hidden technique used by the 2 chunins together has a wider range and greater concentration than the general mist hidden technique. Kuroki Raiga smiled and said, as a ninja of the hidden mist village, it is a basic skill to move freely in the mist. Kuroki Raiga laughed loudly, but just after he finished speaking, he heard Yu's cold voice in his ear. What a coincidence, this ninjutsu has no restrictions on me. Sizzle tilde. Puff tilde. Ah. Kuroki Raiga was slightly distracted, and a golden flash flashed beside him. Then he heard the hissing sound of lightning, and the screams of the 2 chunin subordinates made Kuroki Raiga tremble all over. Damn, this guy is too fast. Feeling something was wrong, Kuroki Raiga jumped back a few steps and distanced himself from the 2 chunin subordinates. In the mist, Yu looked calmly in the direction of Kuroki Raiga. Under his feet, 2 chunin from the hidden mist village had fallen down, with a pool of blood flowing under them, deader than dead. Instant kill, terrifying instant kill. Instantly killed 2 chunin from the hidden mist village, they didn't even have the slightest chance to struggle. The moment their bodies were pierced, the terrifying electric current bombarded every part of their bodies, making them lose all their vitality in an instant. The lethality of the kunai attached with lightning is much higher than that of a simple stabbing. Kuroki Raiga was shocked, even though he had known that Yu was very strong. But he didn't expect Yu to be so strong. Such a long distance. This guy's teleportation didn't even allow me to react, and the distance of dozens of meters appeared in an instant. This guy's instant body technique is too fast. Is he the disciple of Yellow Flash? After experiencing the Third Ninja World War, the legend of the Ninja World, the name of Yellow Flash, suddenly appeared in the mind of Kuroki Raiga, who had experienced the Third Ninja World War. That was a person who could abandon the mission and return. Yu's speed just now had surpassed the speed of the elite Jonin, and the moment he moved was accompanied by golden lightning. It made Kuroki Raiga mistakenly think that Yu was a disciple of Minato Namikaze. I also thought that Yu was using the Flying Thunder God technique. Because Yu's speed was too fast, so fast that the eyes could not react. Kuroki Raiga was a master of lightning escape, and he was good at speed. But Yu's speed made him unable to react. It's not strange to misunderstand that he was a disciple of Minato Namikaze. However, after Kuroki Raiga panicked, he was furious. Asshole, don't think you are so powerful just because you killed 2 Chunin. There is a world of difference between Chunin and Jonin. Thunder release Feast of Thunder. The 2 thunder blades were inserted into the ground crosswise. Dozens of terrifying lightning bolts were released instantly. Crack. Boom. In an instant, lightning bolts like thunder snakes cut through the mist and blasted towards Yu. In the blink of an eye, they appeared around Yu. Thunder release Thunder Net. Sizzle. Boom, boom. In an instant, Yu clasped his hands together. Countless golden lightning bolts appeared around him. These lightning bolts condensed around Yu, forming a golden lightning shield. In an instant, the blue lightning and the golden lightning shield collided with each other. The terrifying force tore everything around it apart. Around Yu, the ground collapsed, rocks flew everywhere, and all the stones affected by the lightning were pulverized. The white light like the sun illuminated the surroundings as if it were daytime. The aftermath of the explosion set off a strong wind, and countless powders formed a terrifying tornado. Sakura, who had transferred Suna and Inari to a place hundreds of meters away, used her hands to block the wind and sand. Looking at the wind and sand tornadoes hundreds of meters away, Sakura was very worried. It's terrible. Is this the ninjutsu of a senior ninja? Can Yu hold on? Even though it was hundreds of meters away from Yu, the storm was still very strong. It messed up Sakura's hair. The clothes rustled. Sakura was very worried about Yu, and Inari also clenched his fists, worried, and stared at Yu who was hundreds of meters away. It's just like a fight between gods. Ninjas are really scary. Brother Yu is so young, but he actually has such a terrifying power in his body. Suna sighed. The battle between Yu and Kuroki Raiga caused a great psychological shock to Suna, who had never seen ninjutsu. In her opinion, the fight between the two was no different from a fight between gods. That was not the power that humans should have. On Yu's side, dozens of lightning arcs as thick as arms continued to bombard the shield condensed by Yu, although the destructive power was extremely great. But after dozens of lightning arcs bombarded, the golden shield was not shaken at all. This is the defensive ninjutsu developed by Yu himself based on the lightning release ninjutsu, lightning release lightning net. And Kakashi was also amazed at the power of this ninjutsu, which is an absolute S-level ninjutsu. It requires a very thorough understanding of the lightning release ninjutsu and a very precise grasp of the lightning release to use it. Otherwise, it will cause serious consequences. After knowing the principle of this ninjutsu, Kakashi shook his head and said that even he could not master this ninjutsu. This ninjutsu is probably only Yu can use. Because if you are not careful, you will be backfired by this ninjutsu. Although this ninjutsu has extremely strong defense, it means that this ninjutsu contains extremely large chakra. It requires extremely large chakra to activate, but if you are not careful, this ninjutsu will blast the caster into slag. This is tantamount to a very dangerous forbidden technique. If Kakashi hadn't seen Yu use it freely, he would never have allowed Yu to use this ninjutsu in battle. This ninjutsu is definitely a forbidden ninjutsu that should be sealed in the Book of Forbidden Ninjutsu. Lightning Release. Lightning Net is even more dangerous than Lightning Release, Lightning Cut, and it is several times more dangerous. After being bombarded by countless lightning arcs, Kurochu Raiga looked confidently at the direction where Yu was bombarded. Ha ha ha, kid, you should regret why you didn't die just now. I'm afraid you have been bombarded into pieces now. Kurochu Raiga is very confident in the Thunder Blade. The power of Lightning Release, Thunder Feast is indeed very strong. The power level is at least A level. When the smoke and dust cleared, Kurochu Raiga looked at Yu in the distance with a smug look on his face. The expected ground full of pieces of meat did not appear, only a golden shield appeared there with golden light. Around the golden shield, the ground had collapsed, and the ground was shattered by the terrifying lightning, and the spider web-like gullies spread for dozens of meters. All the grass and trees on the ground turned into charcoal, and the soil became charred and even smoked. But Kuroki Raiga didn't pay attention to these. At this time, he looked at the golden shield with shock on his face. Damn, this ninjutsu again, you just survived the explosion with this ninjutsu. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Why can it even block my lightning escape? Kuroki Raiga couldn't believe that someone could actually block his lightning escape. And the other party was just a genin. Chapter 70. After the attack, the golden shield gradually disappeared. Yu inside was exposed. Yu was not injured at all by the terrifying lightning just now, and there was not even a speck of dust on his clothes. Yu looked at Kuroki Raiga calmly in the distance. The Thunder Blade is just like this. Yu's mocking words made Kuroki Raiga angry. Stinky boy, don't think that the Thunder Blade has only this much power just because you blocked a Thunder Feast. I want you to know the power of the 7 ninja swordsmen and the power of the Thunder Blade. After saying that, Kuroki Raiga rushed towards Yu. The Thunder Blade in his hand flashed with blue lightning. Compared to ordinary ninjas, it was very fast, but in Yu's eyes it was too slow. Yu looked at Kuroki Raiga calmly, who was rushing towards him, without any panic. Even though the person he was facing was the 7 ninja swordsmen, an elite jonin. In an instant, the two collided with each other. Heichu Leiya wielded 2 thunder blades, which flashed with lightning. Yu only had an ordinary kunai in his hand. Ding, ding, ding. Crack, crack, crack. In the fierce close combat, the thunder blade flashing with blue lightning in Heichu Leiya's hand and the kunai flashing with golden lightning in Yu's hand collided countless times. Gold and iron intertwined, and sparks flew. The two lightnings kept fighting, and the golden arcs and blue arcs bombarded each other. After a few minutes of physical battle, Heichu Leiya was horrified to find that Yu's physical skills were not inferior to his. And Yu's flexibility and strength were far superior to his. He could hold on until now only because his actual combat skills were better than Yu. But Yu's actual combat skills were constantly improving in the battle with him. Before, Yu only relied on physical strength to fight Heichu Leiya, but now Yu's combat skills are not inferior to his. This is too scary. If he continues to fight, it will definitely be disadvantageous to him. But now he doesn't know how to separate from Yu. Yu is too close, and he has no chance to distance himself from Yu. What kind of monster is this kid? He is so powerful at such a young age. And his fighting skills are improving too fast. If we continue to fight like this, I will definitely lose. We must find a way to distance ourselves from him and use ninjutsu to end the battle. Yu fought with Kuroki Raiga expressionlessly, and he also learned a lot of fighting skills in this battle. After all, Kuroki Raiga is one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, and his physical skills are very strong. Because the 7 ninja swordsmen rely on ninja swords, and using ninja swords requires the assistance of physical skills. So the physical skills of the 7 ninja swordsmen are all good. It's just that Yu's learning speed is too fast. In just a few minutes of fighting, Yu mastered Kuroki Raiga's physical skills. At this time, his fighting skills were not inferior to those of Kuroki Raiga. However, Yu's strength, speed, and reaction ability were far superior to those of Kuroki Raiga. As a result, Kuroki Raiga was already unable to do anything. After fighting for a few minutes, Kuroki Raiga gritted his teeth and used Thunder Release Thunder Ball. At the moment when the 2 thunder swords collided with Yu's kunai, Kuroki Raiga released a Thunder Release Ninjutsu. In an instant, a ball of light formed by lightning and thunder blasted towards Yu's face. Yu's reaction speed was very fast, and he disappeared in the direction of the thunderball's attack in an instant. Boom boom. The thunderball did not hit Yu, but hit a stone more than 10 meters behind Yu. The stone, which was more than 1 meter high, was instantly blown into rubble by the thunderball. The power was terrifying. Kuroki Raiga took advantage of this gap to distance himself from Yu. When Yu looked up at Kuroki Raiga, he had already condensed a ninjutsu. Thunder Style, Thunder Dragon Tornado. Sizzle tilde. Roar tilde. In an instant, a thunder dragon of more than 10 meters condensed in front of Kuroki Raiga. The thunder dragon roared and bombarded Yu at a very fast speed. Yu's eyes narrowed slightly, and his hands closed again. Wind Style, Storm Tornado. Just by closing his hands, Yu released an A-level wind style ninjutsu without even making an extra seal. Buzz tilde. Roar tilde. Behind Yu, a storm dragon crossed over Yu's head and flew towards the thunder dragon released by Kuroki Raiga. The speed was also very fast. In the blink of an eye, the thunder dragon and the wind dragon collided between the two of them. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, 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 boom. After the wind dragon and the thunder dragon collided with each other several times, the wind dragon opened its mouth and bit the thunder dragon to pieces. The residual power of the explosion shattered the ground within dozens of meters around, and countless cracks appeared on the ground, and the gullies cut the ground into pieces. After the wind dragon bit the thunder dragon, there was still residual power, as if it had a soul, flying towards the distant Black Ho Thundertooth. Black Ho Thundertooth widened his eyes and could not doubt, how is it possible, he actually knows wind escape, how can his wind escape be so strong? Black Ho Thundertooth observed Yu these days and only noticed that he practiced thunder escape. He never thought that Yu could actually know wind escape. Moreover, wind escape is very difficult to master, both wind escape and thunder escape. How could Yu be proficient in wind escape after mastering thunder escape? He is still just a genin now. Just based on the combat power he showed just now, it is really an insult to the jonin to say that Yu is a genin. Boom boom. The wind dragon did not give Black Ho Thundertooth time to be amazed. In the blink of an eye, he swallowed Black Ho Thundertooth. The whole body violently bombarded the place where Kuroki Raiga stood. The terrifying force blasted a large pit of more than 10 meters where Kuroki Raiga stood. After the storm dispersed, it also raised a strong wind that was enough to break a large tree within hundreds of meters around. Yu looked in another direction. As expected of a jonin, you are very good at escaping. Yu smiled. At this time, Kuroki Raiga's clothes were already tattered. His body was even cut by many wounds from the wind blade. The wounds were bleeding. But obviously, Kuroki Raiga's life was not hurt. It was just that Kuroki Raiga was very embarrassed at this time, and he did not have the majesty of the 7 ninja swordsmen and the elite jonin at all. Kuroki Raiga looked solemn and looked at Yu breathlessly. His hands holding the thunder sword kept shaking. Monster, this guy is a monster, is he really a genin? What kind of monster did Konoha produce? If this goes on, I will really die. After fighting till now, Kuroki Raiga knew that he was no match for Yu. Yu seemed to have insufficient combat experience before. Now, Kuroki Raiga felt that he had been suppressed by Yu in all aspects. Especially Yu Yu's speed, which was too fast, much faster than him. So fast that he almost thought Yu Yu knew time and space ninjutsu. He was good at lightning ninjutsu and was much faster than the average Jonin. But Yu Yu's speed was far above his, and even his eyes could not keep up with Yu Yu's speed many times. This was very terrifying. He felt that Yu Yu could even kill him easily, and the reason why he dragged it until now was just to play with him. Although Kuroki Raiga was a little angry, Yu Yu was indeed stronger than him and could kill him. What Kuroki Raiga didn't know was that Yu Yu really didn't have the confidence to kill him before. Because Yu Yu has never killed a Jonin. Kakashi and Zabuza have never fought him with all their strength. As a result, he always felt that Zabuza and Kakashi had retained a lot of strength. So he didn't think that his strength could defeat the Jonin. And now Yu Yu still felt that Kuroki Raiga must have some tricks that he hadn't used yet. So Yu Yu has been waiting for Kuroki Raiga to use his ultimate move. Yu Yu had to save his physical strength and chakra to deal with Kuroki Raiga's last trick. But Kuroki Raiga didn't have any tricks left, he only had a suicidal ninjutsu. Yu Yu didn't dare to act rashly, and Kuroki Raiga felt that Yu Yu was humiliating him. Chapter 71. What skills do you have that you haven't used yet? Come on, let me see how powerful the 7 ninja swordsmen are. Yu Yu said calmly. Hearing this, Kuroki Raiga frowned. Smelly boy, who are you insulting? Thunder Blade Technique Thunderfall. Crack tilde. Sizzle tilde. Kuroki Raiga was angered by Yu Yu's words, and instantly mobilized the chakra in his body to release his last lethal ninjutsu. In an instant, 2 half-meter thick lightning arcs bombarded Yu Yu like pythons. The power is much stronger than the Thunder Feast just now. But if that's all you have, you can't kill me. 2 lightning pythons rushed towards Yu Yu from the left and right. Pa! Yu Yu clapped his hands. Try my thunder release. Thunder release meteor. Sizzle tilde. In an instant, violent golden lightning burst out from Yu Yu's body. These lightning bolts quickly condensed into dozens of golden lightning bolts, shooting towards Black Ho Thunderfang. 2 golden lightning bolts instantly smashed the 2 lightning pythons released by Black Ho Thunderfang. The 2 lightning pythons were beaten into light spots without any resistance. Black Ho Thunderfang hadn't even reacted yet, and countless golden lightning bolts hit him. Boom, 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 boom. In an instant, a violent explosion broke out at the location of Black Ho Thunderfang. Smoke and dust rose up, sand and rocks flew, and even in the dark night, the surroundings were illuminated by golden lightning as if it was daytime. The terrifying power shook the surrounding earth. It even caused a small earthquake. This terrifying scene seemed like the end of the world. Even Sakura and the other 2 who were hundreds of meters away almost couldn't stand steadily, and Sakura was stunned. Is this the power of Yu Yu? Too scary, is he really only 12 years old? Sakura couldn't believe that this was the power that a 12-year-old boy could possess. Sakura even felt that Yu Yu's power had far surpassed Kakashi. After all, she had never seen Kakashi use such a large-scale, destructive ninjutsu. After a long time, the smoke and dust dissipated. A large pit with a width of 100 meters and a depth of more than 10 meters appeared in front of Yu Yu. The soil in the pit had been burnt black by lightning, and it was even smoking at this time. Walking to the edge of the pit, Yu Yu looked at Kuroki Raiga, whose body had turned into charcoal and was torn into pieces, and the 2 thunder swords that fell on the ground. He was stunned. Appeared at the center of the resistance from the edge of the pit. No way, is he really Kuroki Raiga? Dead. Yu Yu couldn't understand, this was the 7 ninja swordsmen. Kuroki Raiga was actually killed by one of his own ninjutsu. And his body was charred. Isn't this Kuroki Raiga a fake? Yu Yu still didn't want to believe that Kuroki Raiga had only this ability. He was still waiting for Kuroki Raiga's ultimate move. Who knew that he could kill him with a lightning ninjutsu? Picked up the 2 thunder swords that fell on the ground. This sword is really ugly. Originally, Yu Yu thought that this was a ninja sword, and a large part of the strength of the 7 ninja swordsmen was so strong because of the blessing of the ninja sword. But when Yu Yu really got it, he found that this sword did not meet his aesthetic taste at all. It looked weird, and he originally wanted to collect it, but now he has no intention of doing so. Keep it. I guess I can return it to them and do them a favor after I restore the relationship with the Hidden Mist Village in the future. The Hidden Mist Village is still closed now, so there is no way to return it. With Yu Yu's current strength, this thunder sword has no effect on him. And the appearance does not suit his aesthetic taste. He would like Sasuke's Kusanagi sword. Let's seal it first. Yu Yu took out a sealing scroll from the ninja tool bag. This is the most basic sealing scroll that he learned from studying sealing techniques with Kakashi these days. The ninja tool is sealed on the scroll. It is the ninja tool scroll used every day. After putting away the thunder sword, Yu Yu looked at Heikui Raiga, who had turned into charcoal and had broken into pieces and scattered everywhere. A first-generation Jonin, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. It's a pity to die like this. It's too undignified. You often hold funerals for others. Let me take you away for the last time. Heikui Raiga was the first Jonin killed by Yu Yu, and he was also an elite Jonin. He didn't have much joy in his heart. There was some disappointment. In his opinion, Heikui Raiga must have a big move that he hadn't released. He originally thought that Kuroki Raiga could block his ninjutsu. But he didn't expect that Kuroki Raiga would not only fail to block, and he didn't even have the ability to react and avoid it. Lightning Release Meteor is an A-level ninjutsu. It is also a lightning release ninjutsu he developed. However, it has never been used in actual combat since it was developed. Unexpectedly, this ninjutsu killed Kuroki Raiga in its first actual combat. Even Yu Yu didn't expect that this ninjutsu could kill elite Jonin. Although Kuroki Raiga was killed by Naruto in the end. But that's because Naruto has the protagonist halo. If you really want to be serious, it would be difficult for Naruto to kill him without the power of the 9 tails. And at that time, Kuroki Raiga's psychological defense was affected by Renmara. Kuroki Raiga has not been affected by Renmara yet, and he is still a real elite Jonin. Even Yu Yu himself didn't expect that he could kill elite Jonin now. Looking at Kuroki Raiga's body, Yu Yu shook his head. I just felt very sorry. It's a pity that Kuroki Raiga didn't release his ultimate move. Earth Style, Earth Quicksand. Yu Yu formed seals with both hands and slapped the ground. Instantly, a large amount of soil gushed out of the ground, and the soil instantly turned into mud and sand. Gradually, the mud and sand buried the body of Kuroki Raiga together, forming a grave. A stone tablet rose in front of the grave. Yu Yu walked up to it and carved Kuroki Raiga's name on the stone tablet with his hand. Although he had killed an elite Jonin, Yu Yu did not feel any joy in his heart. He was just wondering what his current strength was. Why was Kuroki Raiga killed by himself? Yu Yu doubted his current strength. When he killed Kuroki Raiga, he thought that it was not that he had defeated an elite Jonin, but whether this person was Kuroki Raiga. Because Yu Yu had always felt that his strength should be similar to that of an ordinary Jonin, and there was still a big gap between him and an elite Jonin. So when he killed Kuroki Raiga with a ninjutsu, and his chakra was not even consumed by 1/10, he was stunned. It feels like a dream. In any case, since Kuroki Raiga has been killed, it means that Yu Yu's strength has reached the level of elite Jonin. This is a very high level. After all, in theory, the elite Jonin of each village are eligible to be selected as kage. The kage of each village is actually selected from the elite Jonin. Even Naruto needs to spend some time to upgrade to Jonin before he can take over Kakashi's job and become the 7th generation Hokage. Of course, Yu Yu's level is still Genin now. The Chunin exam will be held in a few months, and that time may be Yu Yu's chance to be promoted to Chunin. Chapter 72. Seeing that the battle in the distance had stopped and Yu Yu had disappeared, Sakura thought something had happened to him. She gritted her teeth and ran towards the place where the battle was taking place. Soon, she came to the side of the giant pit. Looking at the pit in front of her, which was about 100 meters wide, Sakura was shocked. Is this the ninjutsu that Yu just used? Too terrible. Sakura couldn't imagine how powerful Yu's ninjutsu was to create such a big pit. This was beyond Sakura's common sense. This pit was even bigger than the pit caused by the simultaneous explosion of thousands of detonating tags. But Sakura's mind was not on this. She looked down at the bottom of the pit, and Yu's figure appeared below. Sakura hurriedly ran towards Yu. When she came to Yu, she saw that Yu was standing in front of a grave. Looking at the words on the tombstone, Sakura breathed a sigh of relief. Is that Black Ho-Riga dead? Sakura looked at Yu. Yu nodded calmly. Sakura, who was worried just now, smiled and said, Yu, you are so strong that even the Jonin can't beat you. Yu turned around and left without a trace of happiness. Sakura looked puzzled. Why does Yu look unhappy when he obviously won? Boys are really weird. After taking a look at the grave of Kurochi Riga, Sakura chased after Yu. Back on the ground, Yu looked at the moon in the sky. Frowning, it's already night. I don't know how Kakashi is doing. I'm going to reinforce him. Sakura, go and bring Aunt Tsunami and Inari. We'll go together to reinforce Kakashi. I'm worried about leaving you here. Sakura nodded. Oh. Although I really want to ask how Yu became so strong in such a short time, now is obviously not the time to ask this. After calling Suna and Inari, Yu led Sakura and the other two to the construction site of the bridge. After a long time, the four finally arrived at the construction site of the bridge. They happened to see Zabuza and Kakashi fighting. On the other side, the overflowing chakra made Yu's eyes slightly fixed. This evil chakra, could it be that Naruto has gone berserk? Yu looked towards Naruto. In the dark night, the red chakra was particularly dazzling. Kakashi, who was fighting with Zabuza, saw Yu and breathed a sigh of relief. This kid's strength has indeed surpassed that of a Jonin. I'm afraid he was also shocked by his own strength. In Kakashi's opinion, Yu's character is too cautious, and like Shikamaru, he often has no interest in many things. When they were practicing before, Kakashi had already evaluated that Yu's strength surpassed that of a Jonin. Even if they really faced each other head-on, he would not be Yu's opponent. But Yu didn't believe it at all. It seems that in Yu's cognition, the Jonin is unattainable. The Jonin is indeed the top combat force of a village, but it is not invincible. Yu has not understood this point yet. I heard from Zabuza before that Kuroki Riga went to kill Yu. Although Kakashi believes in Yu's strength, he is still a little worried. Although Yu's hard power has surpassed the Jonin, he has too little practical experience. Who knows if Kuroki Riga will come to sneak. The ninja itself will use any despicable and shameless tricks as long as the mission is completed. Yu has no experience in this regard. Many masters in the ninja world were killed by assassins. The people who assassinated them were not as strong as them, but they killed those masters with some shady means. This is what Kakashi is worried about. Since Yu appeared here, it means that Kuroki Riga failed. Yu, go to Naruto, he's in trouble. Kakashi shouted to Yu. Yu glanced at Kakashi, turned back and told Sakura, protect them, I'll go take a look. Sakura knew she couldn't help much, so she nodded, don't worry, I will definitely protect them. Yu didn't say anything else. Turned around and ran towards Naruto. Zabuza, who was fighting with Kakashi, saw Yu's appearance, and his eyes widened. Why did that kid appear here? What on earth is that guy Kuroki Riga doing? After Kakashi released a ninjutsu, he said, Zabuza, it's different from what you think. My disciple is much stronger than you think. It seems that the 7 ninja swordsmen can't defeat him. Zabuza frowned. Yu's appearance was indeed beyond his expectations. In Zabuza's view, No matter how talented Yu was, he was just a genin, just a kid who just became a genin. It's impossible for him to be a match for the elite jonin, Kuroki Raiga. What's more, Kuroki Raiga is accompanied by 2 chunins. Zabuza really couldn't imagine how Kuroki Raiga would lose. But no matter how much he didn't believe it, the appearance of Yu here meant that Kuroki Raiga had failed. Zabuza was speechless. That guy is really good at bragging, saying that he can kill that kid in less than 10 minutes. Kuroki Raiga is too unreliable. Looking at Kakashi, Zabuza said coldly, I don't know why Kuroki Raiga didn't stop that kid, but that 9-tailed kid went berserk. If you can't solve it, I'm afraid you will also have a lot of responsibility, Kakashi. Kakashi looked at the red chakra that was soaring in the distance and frowned. This is his biggest headache at the moment. After Yu appeared, he and Yu could completely defeat Zabuza together. But after Naruto went berserk, it was very difficult for him to control him. When Naruto was a child, he once went berserk, and that time the Anbu suffered heavy losses. If the 3rd Hokage had not mobilized the entire sealing squad, the Anbu, and some of the village's Jonin, Naruto might have destroyed the entire village. At that time, the 3rd Hokage almost used the Shiki seal. And Kakashi knew very well that if Naruto lost his mind and was completely controlled by the 9 tails, he would not be able to control him. Kakashi did not want Yu to go to Naruto's side because it was very dangerous. But he was entangled by Zabuza and could not leave. Kakashi worriedly thought, you have to be careful. If something happens to you, how should I explain to Tongyi? Kakashi could not imagine how he would face Mumoto Tongyi if Yu met with an accident here. At the beginning, he vowed to bring Yu out and protect him. Yu soon came to Naruto's side. At this time, Naruto's whole body was wrapped in the tailed beast coat, and a tail grew behind him. A tail has grown, the situation is very bad. In the tailless state, Naruto's strength was about the level of a Jonin, but after growing a tail, Naruto's strength has reached the level of an elite Jonin. Of course, it refers to the destructive power. In terms of combat experience, the two are still a long way from being Jonin. But the combat power displayed by the two at that time was simply unstoppable by ordinary Jonins, and only elite Jonins like Kakashi could suppress the two with stronger practical experience. At this time, Naruto burst into the state of one tail, and the chakra emitted was extremely huge, and the oppression brought was even more terrifying than that of a shadow-level strongman. This is not Naruto's chakra, but the chakra of the 9-tailed beast. Even Yu was shocked at this time. You know, Yu's chakra is more than Kakashi's. For so many days, Yu's chakra has long been at the level of shadow. But the chakra that Naruto had released at this time had made Yu feel inferior. Yu couldn't help but sigh, it's worthy of being the 9-tailed beast. It's the most powerful of the 9-tailed beasts, with the most chakra. If we don't stop it quickly and let Naruto continue to release more tails, it will be bad. The Jinchuriki ran away outside the village. This kind of thing will embarrass Konoha village, and it will be even more embarrassing if it can't be controlled. Yu had no choice, even if he felt that Naruto was a strong threat to him at this time, but at this time, Sasuke was already lying on the ground covered in blood. Bai was also completely suppressed by the chakra that Naruto had released at this time, and his body could not move. Chapter 73. This was the first time Yu saw Bai, who was wearing an Anbu mask. When he saw Yu appear, Bai didn't know where he got the courage from, and shouted to Yu, "Don't come over here," regardless of Naruto's attention. His voice angered Naruto, who was gradually losing his mind. Roar tilde. A roar. The air around was shaking. This voice seems to be losing its mind. Yu said slowly. I should have learned more sealing techniques from Kakashi. None of the sealing techniques I know now can deal with the tailed beasts. Yu was a little helpless. If he knew the sealing techniques of the Uzumaki clan, he could immediately force the 9 tails chakra back into Naruto's body. Roar tilde. Another roar. Naruto rushed towards Bai. The tailed beast coat on Naruto's body materialized the Nine Tails chakra. The blood-colored chakra gave people a very evil feeling. Even Yu felt that this chakra was a strong threat. No, don't kill innocent people. Yu saw Naruto rushing towards Bai and immediately stopped him. Yu, who still remembered some of the plot, knew that Bai had never killed innocent people. He was indeed an impeccable good man. Yu didn't want to meddle in other people's business, but he still didn't want Naruto to kill him. Bang tilde. Boom boom. Yu disappeared from the spot as soon as he finished speaking, and appeared in front of Bai, and his fist collided with Naruto's claws. The collision caused a violent energy fluctuation. The ground under the feet of the two collapsed and shattered instantly. At this time, Naruto had a blood-colored tailed beast coat on his body, and Yu had a golden coat condensed by the lightning net on his body. That's right, if you fight Naruto at this time, you must be careful not to be corroded by his tailed beast coat. And Yu's lightning net has a very strong protective power. After Yu and Naruto exchanged a few punches, his expression was solemn. After the tailed beast transformation, the power has increased so much. It really puts a little pressure on me. Bai, who was standing behind Yu, was dumbfounded. Yu actually fought with Naruto in this state in close combat. He was slapped dozens of meters away by Naruto just now. He was deeply impressed by that power, which was much stronger than Zabuza's. Yu could actually fight with Naruto in physical skills without losing. He didn't even give in. What is that golden coat on him? Bai didn't know what the lightning net on Yu was. He could feel that the golden coat on Yu had the same effect as the tailed beast coat on Naruto. Unlike Naruto's tailed beast coat, Yu's golden coat did not have such an evil aura, but was very sunny and full of vitality. After Yu and Naruto exchanged a few moves, he thought, if we continue to fight like this, my physical strength and chakra will definitely be exhausted first. I must find a way to make Naruto regain his sanity. Naruto is a Jinchuriki, and the Nine Tails chakra is leaking at this time. If he is not careful, the seal may be broken by the Nine Tails. Yu is unwilling to let this happen. He can still fight Naruto in this state. If the Nine Tails breaks the seal, Yu does not think he has the strength to defeat the Nine Tails. A whip kick with a lightning net attached, has an extreme speed, which means it has extremely terrifying power. Bang! Boom boom! The huge force kicked Naruto hundreds of meters away, and it hit the sea like a cannonball. It rolled up waves tens of meters high. Yu was not worried about hurting Naruto at all. At this time, his body was completely controlled by the Nine Tails chakra. His body also has the Nine Tails rapid recovery ability. Even if it was injured, the Nine Tails chakra would quickly repair itself. After kicking Naruto away, Yu clasped his hands together. Water style, water dragon bullet technique. Yu jumped off the bridge, clasped his hands together in the air, and released the water dragon bullet technique. Before Yu's body landed on the sea, a giant water dragon broke out of the sea in front of him and flew into the sky. Roar tilde. A giant water dragon hundreds of meters long roared in the air. The sound resounded through the sky. I'm afraid that creatures within a few kilometers around can hear the dragon's roar. Kakashi, who was fighting Zabuza in the distance, also saw the giant water dragon flying into the sky in the distance. Kakashi was shocked. This is Yu's water dragon bullet technique. It wasn't so scary before, it was more than 300 meters. Ordinary water dragon bullets are at most tens of meters. The water dragon bullets released by Yu before were very strong, but they were only about 100 meters. But now the length of the water dragon bullet released by Yu is more than 300 meters. The most terrifying thing is that Yu released the incoming water dragon bullet really turned into a very standard dragon shape, and it seemed to be alive, flying in the air. Zabuza was also frightened. What kind of monster is that kid? No wonder Kuroki Raiga didn't succeed, this kid is simply a monster. What's going on in Konoha recently? 2 monster-like kids have appeared one after another. The other monster kid Zabuza mentioned is Naruto. Although he knew that he was a Jinchuriki, he was still shocked by the chakra emitted by Naruto after he went berserk. The chakra of the 9 tails is different from other tailed beasts. Not only is the chakra amount greater, but it also comes with stronger malice. Even a cruel person like Zabuza was horrified by the extreme malice emitted by the 9 tails chakra after Naruto went berserk. Now Yu has appeared again. He is much stronger than when he fought with him before. Only a dozen days have passed. Yu's improvement was too fast. Zabuza understood why Kuroki Raiga didn't kill Yu. Just based on the water dragon bullet technique that Yu released, he was sure that Yu's strength was definitely at the level of a Jonin. And he was not a special Jonin, but a very standard Jonin. Even at the level of an elite Jonin. In fact, the ninjutsu that Yu showed was stronger than many cage-level strongmen. But ninjas obviously don't judge their strength by the destructive power of ninjutsu. Yu was only 12 years old, just a genin. Zabuza didn't think that Yu's actual combat experience was at the level of a cage. Zabuza overestimated that he had the level of an elite Jonin. Kakashi looked at Naruto, who fell into the sea with concern. Seeing the extremely malicious chakra on his body, he was worried that he would break the seal and go completely berserk here. You know, Naruto is Konoha's Jinchuriki. If the 9 tails breaks the seal here, Konoha will lose face, and Konoha's strategic weapons will be lost. And after the 9 tails breaks the seal, Naruto will completely become a puppet of the 9 tails. At that time, the 9 tails will control Naruto to attack other ninja villages, which will definitely lead to war. This is the worst result. Kakashi looked at Yu, who was also standing on the sea. The sea breeze blew his clothes and rustled. Above his head, the water dragon in the sky seemed to be alive. It did not dissipate, but circled around Yu. 2 huge eyes emitting golden light stared at Naruto in the distance. And behind Naruto's tailed beast coat, the second tail was slowly taking shape. Obviously, the 9 tails in Naruto's body also sensed that the giant water dragon on the opposite side was not an ordinary thing. Chapter 74. And the whip kick from Yu just now angered it. Especially Yu exudes the same vitality as the first generation Hokage, and it hates the first generation Hokage the most. It was doing well in the wild at first, but was caught by the first generation for no reason and sealed in his wife's body. As a result, it has been suffering in the bodies of various Jinchuriki for decades. It is still treated well in Naruto's body. When it was in the bodies of Uzumaki Mito and Uzumaki Kushina before, it was not just sealed, but its body was nailed to a boulder and suffered all kinds of torture. Even though it is a tailed beast, the pain of almost peeling off several layers of skin made it remember the culprit that led to its current situation deeply in its mind. It hates and detests the first generation Hokage the most. Yu looked at Naruto opposite. He could feel that Naruto's 9-tailed chakra was surging. The 9 tails chakra is getting stronger and stronger. It seems that the 9 tails is breaking the seal. If Naruto is not woken up quickly, I'm afraid that Konoha will be in trouble. There is no way. As a ninja of Konoha, Yu knows that he must clean up the mess now. After saying that, Yu made seals with both hands again. Lightning release. Thunder roar. Sizzle tilde. Roar. In an instant, a golden thunder dragon condensed in front of Yu. The lightning arc on the thunder dragon was still sizzling. As Yu urged the chakra, the golden thunder dragon plunged into the water dragon next to it. The originally clear body of the water dragon instantly became golden because of the thunder dragon's lightning power. It radiated golden light like the sun in the dark night. This move scared everyone. Because the hundreds of meters long giant water dragon seemed to have turned into a real dragon, emitting golden light and roaring in the air. What else could it be if it wasn't a real dragon? In fact, this is just an ninjutsu that Yu combined with water escape and lightning escape. It's just because Yu used chakra converted from natural energy, and his chakra is very special, so the dragons that appeared in the ninjutsu have consciousness. But Yu didn't know. It's like the wooden man technique of Senju Hashirama seems to have consciousness. But the size of the water dragon released by Yu is really too exaggerated. You know, the wooden man of the wooden man technique is only a few dozen meters high. Even the Buddha on the top is only about 300 meters. The water dragon created by Yu using water escape is actually 300 meters long. This is equivalent to Yu himself being able to create a giant summoning beast. It's just like Senju Hashirama didn't use a summoning beast, but only used the wooden man technique. Of course, Yu himself didn't realize these. He is still thinking about finding a summoning beast that suits him. Yu stood on the sea, looking at Naruto opposite, and the nine-tailed chakra on his body became stronger and stronger. Yu didn't dare to wait any longer. He immediately urged the lightning water dragon to blast towards Naruto. Roar tilde. The giant lightning water dragon moved. Its huge body flew through the air, even creating a terrifying hurricane. The storm blew up waves several meters high on the sea. Although its body was huge, the water dragon was very fast because it had added the chakra of lightning escape. In the blink of an eye, the water dragon crossed a distance of hundreds of meters and rushed towards Naruto. Boom, boom, boom. Naruto wanted to escape, but the water dragon was very fast and its attack range was very wide due to its large size. So Naruto was completely bitten by the water dragon and plunged into the sea. Because the huge dragon body was too long, it even flew on the sea for a few seconds. The dragon entered the sea and created hundreds of meters of water splashes. The surrounding sea had tens of meters of high waves, and the waves rushed towards the bridge. If it is not stopped, the bridge that the workers of Wave Country have worked so hard to build will be washed away by the waves. Yu was a little helpless. I am tied up. I still have to take care of the bridge behind. It's too annoying. Although he said so, Yu still clasped his hands together and used the ninjutsu, water-style water wave, again. Boom, boom, boom. A water curtain tens of meters high appeared in front of Yu, and the water curtain rushed towards the waves. The two forces collided in the distance, and the waves sank instantly. It was just that the falling seawater rolled up several meters high waves. These waves and bridges can still withstand. After solving the giant waves, Yu turned on the perception and ran towards Naruto's position. Thousands of meters away in the sea, Naruto was floating on the sea, and he was unconscious at this time. Came to Naruto and tested his pulse. Fortunately, he is not dead. Water Dragon Bullet Technique Plus. The lightning release is quite powerful, it can even defeat Naruto in the two-tail state. Looking at Naruto's body still shaking, Yu knew that he must have been knocked unconscious by the lightning release when he was blasted into the sea. Water release plus lightning release. The water dragon bullet provides the bombardment, while the lightning release is responsible for the paralysis effect. From this point of view, the lightning release is more effective, and it actually beat Naruto in the two-tail state back to his original form. The impact of the water dragon bullet alone could not wake up Naruto in the two-tail state, and it could not even do him much damage. But the lightning escape that Yu added dispersed the chakra of the nine-tail. After the chakra of the nine-tail was dispersed, there was too little chakra in the outside world, and the sealing technique of the fourth Hokage took effect. The chakra of the nine-tail was too little, so the chakra of the nine-tail lost its medium. Coupled with the influence of the seal of the fourth Hokage, the nine-tail could no longer supply chakra to Naruto. Unless Naruto was awake at this time, he took the initiative to remove the seal and accept the chakra of the nine-tail again. However, Naruto had been knocked unconscious by the lightning escape and lost consciousness, so it was impossible for him to take the initiative to remove the seal. Yu did not expect that he could solve this crisis with just one move. No matter what, it was finally passed without any danger. Yu carried Naruto up and went towards the bridge. Yu was dealt with, but Zabuza actually ran away from Kakashi. Nonsense, seeing Yuyu's fight just now, why not run here and wait for death? After Yu controlled Naruto, it was time to deal with Bai. Zabuza didn't think Bai would be Yu's opponent at this time. When Yu dealt with Bai and then joined forces with Kakashi, he would definitely die. The strength that Yu showed just now has won Zabuza's recognition. He is very sure that Yu's strength at this time has reached the level of elite Jonin, or even Kage. Not to mention that he had a hard time dealing with Kakashi, and he didn't think he had any chance of winning when he faced Yu alone at this time. If he doesn't run now, he won't have a chance to run when Yu arrives later. After carrying Naruto back, Yu looked at Sakura in the distance and said, "Sakura, thank you for your help." Sakura, who was far away, heard what Yu said and recovered from her shock. She ran over quickly. But her eyes were always on Yu. Although the battle between Yu and Kuroki Raiga was very exciting and the destructive power of the battle was also very great. But it was definitely not as shocking as Yu's use of the mind combination ninjutsu just now. Yu was as powerful as a monster. Fortunately, Yu and she were in the same camp. Sakura couldn't imagine who could beat Yu if he was in the enemy's camp. Looking at Yu's smile, his handsome face didn't show any rebelliousness at all. It was impossible to connect him with the godlike figure just now. Yu didn't care what Sakura thought. After putting Naruto down, he said, "Sakura, check Naruto and bandage him if he has any injuries. I'll bring Sasuke over." After saying that, he disappeared. Sakura nodded and began to examine Naruto's body. She was glad that Yu came with them to carry out this mission, otherwise, they might be wiped out here. Of course, Sakura didn't know that even without Yu, they could still complete this mission. Chapter 75. Coming to Sasuke, looking at his body covered in blood from being stabbed by shurikens and kunai, Yu's mouth twitched slightly. He is really arrogant. He cares so much about him, but he pretends to hate him so much. Yu knew that the reason why Sasuke was like this was because he blocked Bai's attack for Naruto. Otherwise, Naruto would not have gone berserk. This is the fate of these two people. Even if Yu appeared, it did not change the relationship between the two. After pulling out the kunai and shurikens from Sasuke and bandaging him carefully, Sasuke had been bandaged like a mummy. Fortunately, you fainted now. If you were awake and saw that you were bandaged like this, you would be angry to death. The proud Sasuke would definitely not want to appear in such an embarrassing appearance. He was even so ashamed that he wanted to kill Yu. "I'm not a professional medical ninja, it's almost enough." After saying that, Yu carried Sasuke up. After Zabuza ran away, Kakashi came to Yu and looked at Sasuke, who was bandaged like a mummy on his shoulder, and was a little worried. "How is Sasuke?" "There is no life-threatening situation, but he lost too much blood." Kakashi nodded. After asking about Sasuke, Kakashi looked at Yu and asked, "Zabuza said that Kuroki Raiga, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, went to intercept you. What happened?" Yu thought about it and told him about the previous battle. Although Kakashi was a little surprised, he was not particularly confused. "Your current strength is stronger than mine." Kakashi sighed. Yu was stunned for a moment. "Not really." Kakashi shook his head. "I saw the ninjutsu that was released just now. I think even I would find it difficult to resist." Yu thought about it and said nothing. He didn't know if what Kakashi said was true. But since he killed Kuroki Raiga and knocked out Naruto in the Two Tails state, Yu felt that his current strength must have reached the level of a Jonin. But he didn't feel anything special. Kakashi continued, "After returning to Konoha, you can let Tongi assess your performance, so that he won't worry about you all the time." Yu smiled and said, "Teacher Tongi's worries are normal. After all, it's easy to encounter situations like today when following an elite Jonin like you to perform missions. If I hadn't learned some ninjutsu from you these days, I might have died when I saved Sakura. With your talent, it doesn't matter who you learn ninjutsu from. And many ninjutsu are simply developed by you." The ninjutsu you released just now has surpassed the boundaries of the original ninjutsu. It's a combination of lightning escape and water escape. That kind of ninjutsu is already beyond the existence of S-level ninjutsu. You didn't learn ninjutsu of that level from me. Kakashi was right. Yu and Kakashi learned a lot of ninjutsu these days. But almost every ninjutsu was improved by Yu. Most of them were improved during the learning process. For example, the water dragon bullet technique was originally only a B-level ninjutsu. But under Yu's improvement, it has become a ninjutsu that surpasses the S level. It is not the difficulty of learning, but the power that surpasses the S level. Whether it is the power of the ninjutsu or the scale, it is much stronger than the original version. It is almost as good as Yu recreating this ninjutsu. Of course, the ninjutsu improved by Yu can basically only be used by himself. Because all the ninjutsu improved by Yu require huge chakra to release. Even if the amount of chakra is huge, the effect of the ninjutsu released is completely different from that of Yu. Because Yu uses chakra converted from natural energy, which is equivalent to fairy chakra. In addition, Yu's chakra is more special than that of ordinary people, and it will attach consciousness to the ninjutsu he releases. For example, the water dragon of the water dragon bullet he released is a conscious water dragon. It can also stay for a long time and attack according to Yu's instructions, just like the woodman technique. Only he can use the wood escape ninjutsu of Senju Hashirama to exert the true power of wood escape. The same goes for Yu. Only when he uses his own ninjutsu can his ninjutsu exert its full power. Kakashi looked at Yu and smiled. Your ninjutsu are already at the level of forbidden ninjutsu. It's just an ordinary ninjutsu. But after your improvement, it has become the same as forbidden ninjutsu. I guess it's caused by the fairy chakra in your body. Yu nodded. I think so too. Yu didn't deny it. Kakashi knew a lot about the chakra in his body. Of course, he only knew the type of chakra in Yu. But he didn't know the amount of chakra in Yu now. In more than 10 days, Yu's chakra was already 10 times that of Kakashi. Without counting the chakra of the 9 tails, Yu's chakra was even far more than Naruto at this time. At this time, Yu's chakra was at the top level among the cage level. However, Yu clearly felt that his chakra growth had slowed down a lot these days. As he guessed, the surge in the early stage had almost made his physical fitness unable to keep up. Before his physical fitness caught up, the chakra amount basically could not increase much. Yu had guessed it before, so he didn't feel anything. Of course, Yu now has another way to greatly increase chakra. That is to learn fairy arts. As long as he mastered the fairy arts, Yu's chakra could even surge tenfold. But now Yu is already satisfied with his chakra, and his desire for fairy arts is not so urgent. Kakashi looked at Yu's calm face and smiled. You don't seem to be surprised at all. In just over 10 days, your strength has increased so much. Aren't you surprised at all? Yu looked at Kakashi and smiled. Teacher Kakashi, I was very clear about my situation before. I only had one question before, that is, my actual combat experience is very poor, and I have never fought a life and death battle with a real Jonin. I don't know how much of my current strength can be exerted when facing a Jonin. Now I know this problem, so naturally there is nothing to be surprised about. Kakashi shook his head and smiled bitterly. Your thoughts don't match your age at all. But it's a good thing. Uchiha Itachi was also like you back then, very precocious. Thinking of Uchiha Itachi, Kakashi glanced at Sasuke on Yu's shoulder. After this kid wakes up and knows your strength, I'm afraid he will pester you. Yu smiled helplessly. I hope Sakura won't be so thick-skinned, but I don't think she will do what I want. Given Sakura's obsession with Sasuke, if Sasuke asked, she would never hide it. And Sakura saw how Yu killed Kuroki Raiga and how he suppressed the runaway Naruto with just one ninjutsu. Chapter 76. At the same age, if Sasuke knew about Yu's performance tonight, he would probably pester Yu to practice with him. Obviously, in Sakura's mind, Yu's strength has surpassed Kakashi. Although he has not tried it, Yu's strength at this time really makes Kakashi feel inferior. But Yu does not think he will be Kakashi's opponent. Kakashi is known to win and lose with anyone. Many ninjas with very powerful ninjutsu and ninjutsu destructive power far greater than Kakashi have overturned when fighting him. Yu knows very well that the destructive power of ninjutsu does not mean that the strength is very strong. Ninjas still have to consider practical experience and IQ in combat. In terms of combat IQ, Kakashi is one of the top ones in the ninja world. Yu not only does not have much practical experience, but he does not think he is better than Kakashi in terms of IQ. Of course, this is Yu himself being too cautious. In fact, with his current strength, Kakashi would definitely not be his opponent in a fight. And it was even more so in Sakura's eyes. Yu's ninjutsu was too shocking, and Sakura was still young, so she would definitely make a judgment based on what she saw. At least she had never seen Kakashi use a ninjutsu of such a large scale and such strong lethality. It was just that Kakashi had used Chidori when he fought Zabuza before. But Kakashi's Chidori was indeed very lethal, but it was a single target lethality, and its destructiveness was definitely far less than Yu's ninjutsu. So Sakura would think that Yu was stronger than Kakashi. After hearing what Sakura said, Sasuke would definitely set his goal of studying on Yu. In order to become stronger, Sasuke even asked Orochimaru for advice, not to mention that Yu was half his teammate. Kakashi also smiled when he heard what Yu said. Seeing that Yu had no pride at all, Kakashi was very satisfied. What he was worried about was that Yu, at his age, would suddenly become very powerful and become impetuous. As it turned out, Yu did not. This is very rare, even he had become impetuous after some achievements he had made. At that time, Uchiha Obito and Nohara Rin were still alive. Kakashi was just a little arrogant. When the two brought Sasuke to Naruto, Sakura saw that Sasuke was covered with bandages and worriedly asked, Yu, why is Sasuke's injury so serious? Putting Sasuke down, Yu comforted Sakura, don't worry, he was just injured by the ninja tool and lost too much blood, but he was not injured in the vital parts, so he is not in danger of life. You just need to rest for a while and you will recover. Sasuke's injury reminds me of something. Sakura, you should learn medical ninjutsu. Naruto and Sasuke in your team are both suitable for training as combat ninjas. And your chakra control is much stronger than theirs, but it is obvious that you are not suitable for the path of combat ninjas. Learning medical ninjutsu and becoming a medical ninja is more important for your team. Teacher Kakashi, what do you think? Kakashi also thought about it. Before, he actually wanted to train Sakura in the direction of illusion ninja. In addition, his illusion attainments are not bad, so he can also teach Sakura. And Yu's suggestion is very good. Their team really needs medical ninjas. In Kakashi's team, Nohara Rin was a medical ninja. She could even transplant the Sharingan on the battlefield, so it's easy to imagine that Nohara Rin's medical ninjutsu is pretty good. Sakura is indeed very suitable for learning medical ninjutsu, and their team really needs medical ninjutsu. Sakura also started thinking. Looking at Sasuke and Naruto, Sakura said, well, it's a good idea. Seeing Sakura's statement, Kakashi said, after returning to the village, I will introduce a few medical ninjas to teach you medical ninjutsu. Kakashi could even ask Ebisu to teach Naruto, so it would be no problem for him to find a few medical ninjas to teach Sakura. Ebisu is Konohamaru's teacher, and the third Hokage personally appointed him. Since Kakashi could ask Ebisu to come, it would be a piece of cake for him to find a few medical ninjas to teach Sakura. Although Sakura wanted to develop in the combat field, she also knew her situation. Although her chakra control is much stronger than Naruto and Sasuke, her chakra volume is far less than theirs. Moreover, during this period, she has also seen the growth of Naruto and Sasuke, and now she has opened up a big gap with them. Not to mention that there is also a Yu. Compared with him, Sakura feels that she is too weak. Since she is not good at fighting, she will learn medical ninjutsu and provide medical care for teammates in the team. Of course, Sakura doesn't know it's not that she doesn't have fighting talent. It's that she hasn't met a teacher who can develop her fighting talent. Yu knows, but Tsunade hasn't returned to the village yet, and it's better for Sakura to learn medical ninjutsu now. In between learning medical ninjutsu, she can even learn illusion with Kakashi. Being a ninja who is proficient in illusion and medical ninjutsu is actually very strong for ordinary ninjas. For example, although her record against Uchiha Itachi was a bit lame, basically no one's record against Uchiha Itachi would be too good. Yuhi Kurenai is not an exception. But Yuhi Kurenai's illusion is indeed the best among ordinary ninjas, which can be seen from the fact that she is a formal Jonin instead of a special Jonin. If you reach the level of a Jonin in one aspect, you can only be a special Jonin, and a Jonin needs to reach the level of a Jonin in all aspects. So in illusion, as long as you have high talent, ordinary ninjas can also reach the level of a Jonin. As for having special bloodlines, such as the Sharingan, that's another matter. In Yuyu's opinion, Sakura's talent is actually very good, and she is very suitable for practicing physical skills, illusions, and medical ninjutsu. However, in the original work, Kakashi did not pay much attention to her in the early stage, resulting in Sakura's combat skills being basically not much stronger than when she was in the ninja school before she met Tsunade. But if Sakura could master illusions and medical ninjutsu before that, it would be very easy for her to reach the level of Chunin, not to mention Jonin. Sakura looked at Yu and smiled, then don't make me angry in the future. When I learn medical ninjutsu, you will have to rely on me to treat you if you are injured in battle. Yu was stunned for a moment. But I am not in the same team with you. Let's wait until Sasuke and Naruto wake up before letting them know this unfortunate news. Yu teased. What? You will definitely follow us to carry out missions in the future. Teacher Kakashi is biased. It is estimated that he is unlikely to let you go back. Sakura looked at Kakashi. Kakashi was a little embarrassed. It was still embarrassing that his little thoughts were seen through by Sakura. Yu looked at Kakashi. He saw that his face was a little embarrassed and his mouth twitched slightly. He wondered if what Sakura said was true. Kakashi really thought so. He did think that he would take Yu with him when he went out of the village to perform tasks in the future. One purpose was to let him increase his knowledge and accumulate practical experience. Another purpose was that he was worried that if he left Yu in the village, the third generation and Danzo would attack him. Although he thought that the third generation would not do so, because the third generation had promised before. But who can guarantee such a thing? What if Kakashi dared not gamble, and the third generation's personality was very easy to compromise? Who knows if Danzo will use some means to force the third generation to compromise? Kakashi has been in the Anbu for many years, and it is not like he has never seen such things happen. Kakashi is always worried if he does not bring Yu with him. In the village, Kimoto Tangi can't protect Yu at all. Kimoto Tangi can't compare to Kakashi's position in Konoha. And Kakashi is also worried that Kimoto Tangi will fall out with the village because of Yu, and it will be bad if he becomes a traitor. He believes that Kimoto Tangi will not betray Konoha, but if the third generation and Danzo force him to no end, Kimoto Tangi may really become a traitor. In the case of Yu is not wrong. With Kimoto Tangi's character, he will never allow others to hurt him. Not to mention that Yu is his direct disciple, although he didn't teach Yu anything. But after all, there is such a relationship, he can't just watch and do nothing. If Yu is left with Kimoto Tangi, Kakashi is worried that Kimoto Tangi will take Yu with him to become a traitor, which will be very bad. Of course, all this is just Kakashi's idea, and what he is worried about has not happened yet. It's just that he has been in the Anbu for many years, which has made him cautious, and even a little dark. However, Kakashi thought so, but Yu didn't want to always follow Kakashi to carry out missions. After all, Kimoto Aikizo was his teacher, but he only carried out a mission with Kimoto Aikizo, Ben Yatako and Yamada Kazuki once. He was worried that the three of them would be unhappy. Although Yu didn't have much ambition, he had to consider the feelings of his teammates and teachers. Chapter 77. Yu didn't dwell on this issue. After Kakashi and Naruto brought Sasuke and Naruto back to Dazuna's house, Kakashi found Yu and wanted to find out about Naruto's situation. When Naruto went berserk before, Kakashi was fighting with Zabuza and didn't notice Naruto's situation. On the balcony of their room, under the moonlight, the two sat on the balcony. Yu said, "The seal in Naruto's body has loosened. This time Naruto went berserk and two tails have appeared. And with just two tails, he has put a lot of pressure on me. If he adds another tail, I'm afraid I can't suppress him." This is Yu's own guess. Because Naruto with only two tails made Yu feel a great threat. He felt that if Naruto's tails increased to 3 tails, he would not be able to cope with it. Yu's idea was similar to that of Hashirama Senju. He only saw how powerful his opponent was, and didn't know how much of a threat he brought to the opponent. This time Yu released a combination of ninjutsu to suppress Naruto. The chakra consumed was not even 1/10 of his own chakra. Moreover, the Water Dragon Bullet plus Lightning Release can not only suppress Naruto with the 2 tails, but also with the 3 tails. The Water Dragon Bullet technique is secondary. The biggest threat to the runaway Naruto is actually Yu's Lightning Release. Yu's Lightning Release is completely different from that of ordinary ninjas, and its power and lethality are much greater. Kakashi didn't know the specific situation. But he could feel how evil the chakra Naruto emitted was at that time. It was obvious that Kakashi believed what Yu said. That's why the third Hokage handed Naruto to me. After becoming a ninja, Naruto's chance of going berserk is much greater than before. Just judging from the fighting power he showed after going berserk today, it's hard for me to suppress him. Although I have the Sharingan, I'm not a ninja from the Uchiha clan, so my ability to suppress the tailed beasts is not high. If you hadn't taken action today, I really wouldn't have much to do to calm Naruto down. After returning to the village, Kakashi-sensei, you should learn some sealing techniques. Since the third Hokage handed Naruto to you, he will definitely be willing to give you some sealing techniques to deal with his berserk. Kakashi smiled bitterly. How can it be that easy? Do you really think that learning the sealing technique is that simple? Ordinary sealing techniques are okay, but the sealing techniques that can seal the tailed beasts are very difficult to learn. It's not that I haven't learned it before, but those sealing techniques are basically forbidden techniques, and I can't master them. And Konoha's sealing techniques against the tailed beasts are basically from the Uzumaki clan. Many of them require the blood of the Uzumaki clan to master them better. The fourth Hokage was able to master them because his wife was from the Uzumaki clan. I learned it before, but I didn't master it. Kakashi was helpless. It's not that he hadn't learned the sealing techniques of the Uzumaki clan, but he didn't learn it. After all, he was the disciple of the fourth Hokage. With the fourth Hokage's personality, he would definitely teach Kakashi the sealing techniques. But Kakashi didn't learn it either. Just as Minato Namikaze was not the only one who learned the Flying Thunder God technique, his several guards also learned it, but none of them learned it. Kakashi is a genius, but his talent is not very high in terms of sealing techniques, mainly in combat. And the sealing technique to seal the tailed beast is a very difficult sealing technique, and Kakashi has not learned it. Yu was a little surprised. Even you haven't learned it. How difficult is it? Kakashi sighed. It's really difficult, and many ninjutsu require the blood of the Uzumaki clan to perform. Yu thought about it, and indeed many of the Uzumaki clan's sealing techniques require the blood of their clan to be released. For example, the diamond seal. This sealing technique is quite domineering. With this sealing technique, the Nine Tails has never been rampaged once in Uzumaki Kushina's body. And this sealing technique can not only seal, but also be used for combat. During the Fourth Ninja World War, in order to save Sasuke, Uzumaki Karen burst out the diamond seal and directly smashed the wooden man's arm. Before Minato Namikaze sealed the Nine Tails on Naruto, Kushina Uzumaki released the diamond seal to control the Nine Tails. That was the sealing technique released before Kushina Uzumaki was about to die. You can imagine how powerful this sealing technique is. Of course, this sealing technique is obviously bound to the bloodline of the Uzumaki clan. After all, this ninjutsu has only been used by Uzumaki Karen and Uzumaki Kushina of the Uzumaki clan. There are also several other sealing techniques that are very powerful, such as the Shiki Fujin. But this ninjutsu, it is a one-time sealing technique. Even if Kakashi knows it, Yu will not want to learn it. Kakashi turned his head and looked at Yu, and suddenly thought of something. No, just because I think it is difficult does not mean that you think it is difficult too. Kakashi thought of Yu's talent for ninjutsu. Could he have the talent for learning sealing techniques? Yu was stunned for a moment. What do you mean? Kakashi said, what I mean is that if you have the talent for learning sealing techniques, I can teach you. Although I didn't learn it at the beginning, I remember the principles very clearly. But isn't this kind of sealing technique a forbidden technique? It shouldn't be learned by a genin like me. Yu frowned. He was not worried that he couldn't learn it, but he was worried that Kakashi would be embarrassed. After all, the sealing technique that can seal the tailed beast is definitely a village secret. And the sealing techniques of Konoha village basically come from the Uzumaki clan. And the sealing techniques of the Uzumaki clan are the top in the ninja world. During the Fourth Ninja World War, Killer Bee told Naruto that Naruto's sealing technique was much stronger than his. You can imagine how precious the Uzumaki clan's sealing technique is. The Uzumaki clan was destroyed for this reason. Kakashi waved his hand and said, I absolutely believe in you. I even taught you Chidori. As long as you can learn the sealing technique, Naruto's problem will be solved. Kakashi is absolutely confident about Yu. In fact, Kakashi knows very well now that Yu is stronger than him. But Yu has not changed at all. There is no pride at all. Even he couldn't do what Yu did back then. It's decided. Starting tomorrow, I will teach you the sealing techniques I know. There are several that were taught to me by the fourth Hokage himself. It's a pity that I didn't learn them at the time. Kakashi felt a little ashamed. Although he is regarded as a genius, he is not that talented in the art of sealing. Kakashi does know simple sealing techniques, such as the evil seal. But this kind of sealing technique is obviously not comparable to the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan. He can't even control the curse seal on Sasuke. Chapter 78. Yu looked at the moon in the sky and smiled, what if I can't learn it? Kakashi waved his hand, it's okay if you can't learn it. The difficulty of the sealing technique is very high. I was not the only one who learned the sealing technique from the fourth Hokage, but no one learned it. It's not surprising that you can't learn it, but if you learn it, you don't have to worry about Naruto's problem. If I had learned the sealing technique of the fourth Hokage, I wouldn't have let him release such a dangerous sealing technique. Yu turned his head and looked at Kakashi. But he thought about it and didn't ask. Kakashi smiled and said, why are you hesitant to talk? Just say whatever you want to ask. Yu looked at Naruto lying in the room and asked, Teacher Kakashi, why did the fourth Hokage seal the tailed beast in Naruto's body? And Naruto is from the Uzumaki clan. There are not many people from the Uzumaki clan in Konoha village. Kakashi didn't hide it from Yu. Slowly said, you probably have guessed it. Yu frowned, is it really the same as I thought? Kakashi nodded, yes, Naruto is the child of the fourth Hokage. It was when the fourth Hokage's wife gave birth to Naruto that the Nine Tails broke the seal. The fourth Hokage sent me to protect his wife at that time, but I didn't protect her well. Yu was a little shocked. He was not shocked that Naruto was the son of the fourth Hokage. He had known this for a long time. He was shocked that Kakashi would tell him this. This is Konoha's secret. Only the Konoha high-level officials and Kakashi knew about it in the whole Konoha. How much Kakashi trusted Yu. Yu himself was a little surprised. Seeing Yu's shocked look, Kakashi thought Yu was shocked that Naruto was the son of the fourth Hokage. Then he said, "There's nothing strange about this, because Naruto has the blood of the Uzumaki clan, and the fourth Hokage also hopes that he can make good use of the power of the Nine Tails." Yu looked at Naruto in the room. Doesn't the fourth Hokage know what will happen to Naruto if the Nine Tails is sealed in him? Kakashi sighed. There was no choice at the time. The fourth Hokage's wife was already very weak. After the Nine Tails was extracted, she didn't have much time. The fourth Hokage also used the Shiki Fujin ninjutsu. If she used this ninjutsu, she would definitely die. So there is only one choice for Naruto, and he also has the blood of the Uzumaki clan, so he is indeed the best candidate for the Jinchuriki. Maybe the fourth Hokage hopes that Naruto can control the power of the Nine Tails and become the pillar of the village. The fourth Hokage really thought so. It can be seen from the fact that the seal he imposed on Naruto was the 8 diagrams seal, not the 4 symbols seal. The 4 symbols seal is a sealing technique that simply seals the 9 tails, while the 8 diagrams seal is just a sealing technique that superimposes 2 4 symbols seals, but it can convert part of the 9 tails chakra into Naruto's own chakra. It is equivalent to adding a chakra source to Naruto. So in addition to his own chakra, Naruto's chakra also includes chakra converted from the 9 tails. Otherwise, he would not have been able to have chakra that surpassed Kakashi at such a young age. Even the ninjas of the Uzumaki clan do not have such a terrifying amount of chakra. Not to mention that Naruto only has half of the blood of the Uzumaki clan. The fourth Hokage has great expectations for Naruto. Yu said. Kakashi nodded. I hope he can master the power of the 9 tails in the future as the fourth Hokage expected. When his mother was the 9 tails Jinchuriki, she never went berserk. Yu smiled and said, isn't that normal? His mother is a pure member of the Uzumaki clan, and her sealing technique is so powerful. It is normal that she didn't go berserk. If Naruto learns the sealing technique, he can probably stabilize the 9 tails. Kakashi shook his head. I am more pessimistic about this. The sealing technique not only requires the power of blood, but most importantly, it requires a deep understanding of the sealing technique, which is extremely difficult. As for Naruto, he has the power of blood, but I'm afraid his brain is not enough. Yu was speechless. Teacher Kakashi, how do you know if you haven't tried it? Kakashi didn't say anything else. But he knew very well that the sealing technique was not that easy to learn. And there are very few ninjas who are proficient in the sealing technique in the ninja world. It is precisely because of this that each major ninja village has a special sealing class. The reason for the sealing class is that there are too few people who are proficient in sealing techniques, and they must be gathered together to play a role. Just knowing a few techniques such as sealing evil techniques is not enough. Sealing techniques like seals are not called mastery of sealing techniques. Although sealing techniques seem to have no other function except sealing. But the difficulty of learning is much higher than that of combat ninjutsu. Kakashi knows Naruto too well, so he knows that he is not that kind of material. He had planned to teach Naruto sealing techniques before, but he gave up after testing his talent. Because Naruto's talent for sealing techniques is not as good as his. The main reason is that the theoretical foundation required for sealing techniques is very large and complex, and even Kakashi has a hard time mastering it, not to mention Naruto who often gets 0 marks in ninja school. Kakashi didn't want to talk about this, so he said, I still have high hopes for you. I think you can definitely master those sealing techniques. As long as you master those sealing techniques, I won't have to be so scared every time I take Naruto out to perform a mission. Yu's mouth twitched slightly. Teacher Kakashi, you won't ask me to follow you every time you go out of the village to perform a mission, right? I'm not in your team. Yu can treat it as a public travel when he goes out occasionally, but he doesn't want to follow Kakashi every time. Kakashi patted Yu's shoulder and said, "You know that your team shouldn't have existed. It's only because of you that your team still exists. You should know that you and your teammates are not from the same world. Since the day your team passed the assessment thanks to you, you and they have been different. And now you are completely different from ordinary ninjas in the eyes of the village's top leaders. The more you stay with your teammates, the more you will hurt them. Because whether you need to become stronger or you defect from the village for some reason, they will be implicated because of you. This is also the reason why your teacher agreed to hand you over to me. If you don't keep your distance from your two teammates, they will be affected by you in the future." Yu was silent. He didn't quite agree with Kakashi's words. But when he thought about the commotion he made that day, he was afraid that Kakashi was right. It would be fine if the third generation didn't know about his existence. But he already knew about his existence. Whether Yu was willing or not, he was different in the third generation. More than just an ordinary ninja. If anything happens to Yu in the future, both Hanya and Yamada will be implicated. They may even die because of him. Although it is a peaceful time now, the struggle among ninjas is still very bloody. Kakashi is right. In Yu's memory, only Kakashi's class, Yuhi Kurenai class and Asuma class passed the assessment. These were all set by the third generation. Who knew that Yu's team also passed the assessment? It was Yu's existence that changed the plot. From Yu's perspective, the talents of Yamada and Hanya are actually very ordinary. If their teammates were not themselves, coupled with the same personality of Miyamoto, they would most likely not pass the assessment. Now that they are implicated in Yu's affairs, it is not a good thing for the two of them. Especially the conspirator Danzo. If he wants to deal with Yu, he will definitely start with the people around Yu. The better the relationship between Yu, Hanyatako and Yamada Shuki, and the more interactions they have with them, Danzo will definitely take action against them. This is something Yu is very reluctant to see. Chapter 79. Seeing Yu's look, Kakashi knew that Yu had listened. Fortunately, the third generation had not seen Yu's battle today. Otherwise, it would not be just a precaution. I am afraid that the Anbu would be sent to watch. Yu is only 12 years old, but he can already kill an elite Jonin. And he is not an ordinary elite Jonin, but Kuroki Raiga, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. The ninjutsu that Yu used to suppress the rampaging Naruto tonight is already in the category of forbidden ninjutsu. What's more terrifying is that the ninjutsu that Yu used today is not his most powerful ninjutsu. You will take the Chunin exam in a few months, and the third generation will definitely know your strength by then. Kakashi said. Yu nodded. You must want me to participate in this Chunin exam, right? Kakashi smiled. I'm afraid it's not my decision. The Sand Village will also send people to participate in this Chunin exam. You should know what this means, right? Yu nodded. This means that Konoha needs to send out the strongest genin of this generation to participate. I guess several people from my class will participate. Kakashi smiled. Yes, although we are allies with the Sand Village, we must not let the Sand Village see any signs of weakness in our Konoha village, otherwise I don't know what they will do. Although it is nominally a Chunin exam, each ninja village will send the best genin in each village to participate and show the military strength of their own ninja village. At this time, the third Hokage will not let you sit idle. Yu shrugged. I don't care. I originally wanted to be promoted to Chunin as soon as possible. After all, as a Chunin, I can take on higher tasks. The reward is also higher. Don't look at the high commissions when ninjas go on missions. But half of the commission will be taken away by the village first. The remaining half is the share of the ninja who performs the task. Moreover, there is no travel expense when the ninja performs the task. All the expenses of the task need to be borne by the ninja himself, and the village will not provide the ninja tools, which need to be purchased by the ninja himself. This is also the reason why many jonins are still so poor even though they have completed many high-level tasks. Except for ninjas like Jiraiya who have extra income and become rich, many jonins are not as rich as imagined. You should know that a detonating talisman costs several thousand taels, and the average genin can only get a few thousand taels at most for a C-level task. In other words, even if an ordinary genin performs the highest level task he can receive, sometimes the money he can get is not enough to buy a detonating talisman. Of course, detonating talismans are high-level ninja tools in the ninja world. And for genin, detonating talismans are the most powerful ninja tools in his hands. Unless, like Sasuke, genin can release fire escape ninjutsu such as the Great Fireball technique. But as Kakashi said, Sasuke's chakra is much stronger than that of a genin, and most genins don't have enough chakra to release the Great Fireball technique. So in the absence of a highly lethal ninjutsu, the detonating talisman is the most powerful ninja tool. And Yu didn't bring the detonating talisman this time. He certainly had some, but only a few, which he left at home. He bought them before to use as a trump card. Detonating talismans are a type of ninja tool that can be used by genin and cage-level ninjas. And many of them are used as special moves. Because even cage-level strongmen will die if they are blown up by the detonating talisman. Many jonin, even cage-level strongmen, were killed by the detonating talisman. Detonating talismans are a great threat to ninjas of any level. Of course, the premise is that they can hit the opponent. And Yu didn't bring the detonating talisman this time not because he didn't need it, but because the detonating talisman was too expensive, and he only had a few and was reluctant to bring them. Plus, he is quite confident in his own strength. If he can't win in a fight, he can still run away. Without the intention of becoming a rebellious ninja, Yu still hopes to get a promotion and a raise as soon as possible. Kakashi looked at Yu's serious face and was a little amused. I didn't expect you to be a money grubber. Yu rolled his eyes at Kakashi. I'm not a money grubber. It's just that ninjas also need money. Without money, you can't even buy ninja tools. That's right. Since the third generation promised to train you, he should not break his promise. I hope so. Kakashi has no confidence. But he can only choose to believe in the third generation. After all, he is not a Hokage. After you learn the sealing technique, you should pay more attention to Naruto in the future. Kakashi said seriously. How do you know that I can definitely learn it? And it should be your responsibility to take care of Naruto. Kakashi smiled at Yu, patted his shoulder and said, I have great confidence in you. It seems that there is no ninjutsu that you cannot learn. And since you have mastered the sealing technique that can suppress the tailed beast, you naturally have a share of the responsibility to take care of Naruto. No, it should be said that those who are capable should do more work. If you learn the sealing technique, you should watch Naruto more. Seeing Kakashi's triumphant look, Yu was speechless. Why does Yu feel that Kakashi doesn't seem to want to watch Naruto? Naruto is his teacher's son. But thinking of Naruto's usual situation, Yu understands Kakashi. Kakashi's personality is completely different from Naruto's. I guess he thinks Naruto's frequent pranks give him a headache. At this time, Naruto does often play pranks, and many pranks can be laughed off. But many pranks also make people want to beat him up. Fortunately, Sakura in Kakashi's class is all about Sasuke on his body. Sasuke only wanted to become stronger and seek revenge on Uchiha Itachi, and was unwilling to pay attention to Naruto's pranks. Kakashi was probably the one with the most headaches. He naturally had no opinion on Naruto, but sometimes he would be angry to death if he led a troublemaker. If Yu could learn the sealing technique and leave Naruto to Yu, he could not only ensure the safety of Naruto and the village, but also have a little peace of mind. It was exciting to hear. Yu also saw Kakashi's idea, which made him speechless. Teacher Kakashi, I think you are not responsible for Naruto. I do want to be responsible, but you also know how poor his foundation is, and he has that kind of personality. I am lucky that I haven't been angry to death until now. The three of my team are all problem teenagers. As my disciple, shouldn't you share the teacher's worries? Kakashi looked at Yu. Hee, you just want to find a free laborer. Yu sneered. Kakashi was a little embarrassed. Of course, the reason why he thought so was that he had great confidence in Yu and had high expectations. It was also trust in Yu. After all, Naruto was a Jinchuriki and it was impossible to easily hand him over to others. But Kakashi had absolute confidence in Yu. He didn't think Yu would pose any threat to the village. From the beginning, he trained Yu as a ninja like the fourth Hokage. It was just that Yu's later talent made him unexpected. Chapter 80. Kakashi patted Yu's shoulder and said, "Okay, it's settled. Learn the sealing technique well. As long as you master the sealing technique, I don't need to worry about Naruto going berserk." Didn't you say that the sealing technique in Naruto's body loosened? You don't want him to destroy Konoha after he goes berserk, nor do you want the Nine Tails to hurt him after breaking the seal. Yu smiled bitterly and said, "You are flattering me. But I really have no reason to refuse. Let's talk about it when I really master the sealing technique. After all, I am not sure that I can master the sealing technique that even you can't master. Naruto is so difficult to deal with just two tails. Who knows how powerful he will be after more tails appear." If the Nine Tails heard what Yu said, he would definitely be angry to death. Yu only used a ninjutsu to suppress the runaway Naruto. Who is so powerful? If the Nine Tails knew what Yu said, he would definitely think of what the first generation Hokage said to it. The combined ninjutsu released by Yu, the water dragon alone is 300 meters long, even several times larger than the wood dragon of Hashirama Senju. You should know that the wooden man is only tens of meters high, and the big Buddha is only a few hundred meters high, and it is only thousands of meters after adding the 1,000 hands. But the water dragon released by Yu alone is 300 meters high, and it is a combined ninjutsu, which adds the extremely lethal lightning escape. It can be said that the power of the water dragon bullet technique released by Yu plus the lightning escape ninjutsu will definitely not be much weaker than the wood dragon technique. But Yu actually said that Naruto will be very powerful after going berserk, and it seems that he is so powerful that he can't suppress it. In fact, after Yu suppressed Naruto with the two tails, he only consumed less than 1/10 of his chakra, and you should know that before that, Yu and Kuroki Raiga also consumed a lot of chakra. The most hateful thing is that Yu actually said that his ninjutsu can only suppress Naruto with the two tails, and he can't do anything with the three tails. In fact, if the Nine Tails knew about Yu, he would definitely scold him to death, because the ninjutsu released by Yu was too powerful. Even Naruto with three tails could not stop the ninjutsu released by Yu. Kakashi did not know how strong Naruto with three tails was, but from the strength shown by Naruto with two tails. He also felt that after the three tails, it would be difficult to control the runaway Naruto. After all, when he was two tails, Kakashi had already felt the extremely terrifying chakra of the Nine Tails. At that time, he felt that he had no way to resist. It was even more terrifying than the killing intent that Orochimaru gave him back then. And Orochimaru, in those days, just a glance suppressed Kakashi. Even when Orochimaru was injured, Kakashi did not have the courage to attack. Kakashi has never forgotten that experience. And the evil chakra of the Nine Tails emanating from Naruto with two tails made him feel even more terrifying. Kakashi's feeling was not wrong. Bai was stunned by the rampaging Naruto at that time. He could teleport away, but under the extreme murderous aura of the Nine Tails, his body could not move at all. At that time, Naruto even had only one tail. But the more this happened, the more Kakashi hoped that Yu could learn the sealing technique. Because the Nine Tails was more powerful than he could imagine. The impression of the Nine Tails rebellion was still in his mind. Even as powerful as Minato Namikaze, he had to seal the Nine Tails with his life in exchange for his life. If Uzumaki Kushina was fine, the Nine-Tails would not be able to break the seal no matter how powerful it was. The sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan is so domineering and unreasonable. The diamond seal alone is not something that the Nine-Tails can break free of. Chatted with Yu for a long time. It was not until midnight that the two went to rest. Yu returned to the room, and Sakura was wiping Naruto and Sasuke's faces. Both of them were seriously injured. Looking at Sasuke, Yu said, "Teacher Kakashi, although Sasuke seems to look down on Naruto, he will really sacrifice his life to protect Naruto when his life is in danger. If his family hadn't had such a thing, I think he would have been a very good ninja." Kakashi nodded. "When I tested the three of them, it was Sasuke who first gave the food in his hand to Naruto, even at the risk of being eliminated. This is why Kakashi attaches so much importance to Sasuke. In addition to Uchiha Obito and Sharingan, he knows very well what kind of person Sasuke is. Kakashi has always hoped that Sasuke can let go of the hatred of his family and not be so extreme. But he also knows that such a deep hatred cannot be easily let go. Several people live in the same room. Yu lay on the mat, looking at the ceiling. If he can let go of the hatred in his heart, he will definitely live a happy life. Unfortunately, this is impossible, Kakashi-sensei. I think what you are doing is unlikely to succeed." Kakashi did not deny it. Just said, "I can only do my best." Even though he knew that there was little hope for Sasuke to let go of his hatred, Kakashi was still willing to change him. As for helping Sasuke to kill Uchiha Itachi and help Sasuke get revenge, Kakashi thought he couldn't do it. That was Uchiha Itachi. When Uchiha Itachi didn't open the Mangekyo Sharingan, Kakashi had already had a hard time fighting him. And Kakashi always thought it was strange that Uchiha Itachi slaughtered the entire family and defected from Konoha. Among them, the third generation and Danzo must have been involved. Participation. It's just that it's hard for him to investigate this kind of thing. In fact, Kakashi admired Uchiha Itachi before. After all, Uchiha Itachi is one of the few people in the Uchiha clan who is not so arrogant. Before the Nine-Tails Rebellion, the Uchiha clan actually had a high status in Konoha, and with the power of the security forces, the ninjas in the Uchiha clan were generally quite arrogant. Although the second-generation Hokage arranged the Uchiha clan in this way in order to restrict them and also wanted them to integrate into the Konoha clan, Yi Zhonglai. But the power of the security forces is very great, which makes them more and more arrogant, and the Uchiha clan has indeed made many military achievements in the war. So the members of the Uchiha clan are generally quite arrogant. People like Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Itachi, and Uchiha Shisui are a minority. Although Uchiha Obito in the early period had a similar personality to Naruto, he was indeed very kind. At the beginning, Uzumaki Kushina hoped that her child would become a person like Uchiha Obito when he grew up. Before Uchiha Obito got into trouble, his relationship with Uzumaki Kushina was indeed very good, even better than that between Kakashi and Uzumaki Kushina. Of course, that was before the accident. After the accident, Uzumaki Kushina never thought that when this person who she once regarded as her younger brother saw her again, the first sentence she said was that the vitality of the Uzumaki clan was really strong, and they would not die like this. Kakashi always wanted to change Sasuke, but the more he changed, the more he found that he could not change at all.